Sorry, broadcast. Sorry, broadcast.
Go to subscriptions.
Subscribe. Gotta.
Oh, I thought for sure that you were gonna make the background for this one the count,
Oh, that also would have been good. I didn't even think about that.
and I thought for sure you were gonna do something
Let's go there.
with Sesame Street and the count because
What
it's
thing?
numbers.
Numbers. Ah, I gotta.
Numbers.
Why is that on? Why are you on? Can I just get rid of you? No, apparently I can't. Apparently that has to be on. No, wait. Can I get rid of you? Get rid of you. Yeah. Stupid. You're stupid. You're so
Stupid.
stupid. Remember that episode of Dexter's Lab that was written by a 3-year-old?
Yes, I do.
You know what I just realized? I forgot to do this. Get rid of you. Yeah. Stupid. Stupid. You're so stupid. Remember that episode of Dexter's Lab that was written by a 3-year-old? Where you're just like, it's just so stupid. It's just Dexter and you're stupid over and over
You're
again.
stupid. You're so stupid. So, are we good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Three, two.
Sorry, I need to take
One.
my medicine.
This
Okay.
episode is brought to you by the
Hey!
Spur of the Moment podcast.
I see what you did there.
What? I'm not taking over.
Are you trying to steal my thunder?
No.
Do I have to get up?
No.
Do I have to get up out of my chair?
No. You're being ignorant. Don't be ignorant.
Don't be ignorant. Oh, in 3, 2. In 3, 2. You. In 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. And seriously, they can't help you. There's an advertisement which I should have and should put in the show. Welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I'm your host. I'm Justin Spurr. And as always, I am joined by he who is they, who is them, who is one with, who is the men in black. He's wearing an incredibly outdated t-shirt today, for those of you who can't see. Does everyone remember Luke? Who remembers Loot Crate? He's wearing a Loot Crate shirt for everyone in Spotify and YouTube audio land.
I remember.
It's the incomparable Jordan. I remember because a lot of the crap still litters our apartment. It's just everywhere.
You say crap, I say collectibles that only go up in value.
I'm pretty sure as they collect dust, they depreciate in value.
Only go up in value.
I don't think that's true. On today's show, we have the news. As always, there is some news. It's a big old nom nom heaping helping. Isn't the news delicious? News. We got a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. We got other trailers. No, we've got Avatar 3, more Avatar. There's
Avatar 3,
we got
who
a trailer for
cares?
that. We got there's new Air Bud. There's a Wicked trailer. The Wolverine video game trailer, and there's just so much more nom delicious news that's coming that you're gonna put in your news hole right there. Stick it in your movie news hole. And then later, you saw the title. It's numbers. We're talking numbers. Big old numbers. Movies that have numbers in them. Some of them are bad. Some of them are okay. But that's later. That comes later. That's the second half.
You can count on the fact that we're going to tell you about those movies that have numbers in them.
Later.
You can count on it.
Later in the show.
It's something that you can count on.
You know what?
Happening.
Let's start with this one, Jordan, because I thought this was funny. Because we did a whole thing last week about Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie Kirk. And I had a video planned for it. I was going to cut a video out of it. I was going to use all that footage. And then the next day, all that footage became irrelevant when they announced that Jimmy Kimmel was coming back on air. So he didn't have to get canceled, ladies and gentlemen. He got uncanceled. And there was a lot of people who
he got
were like...
he got temporarily kicked.
He got temporarily suspended. And apparently, I have a news story that the Sinclairs, the people who were so insistent, they backed down. And they say that they will not preempt Jimmy Kimmel's show and he will be allowed to return to the air. Which is good for free speech.
Free speech wins again, bitches!
Free speech wins again, bitches. But I just thought it was really funny. I had 5 minutes worth of footage last week that is now unusable. Thanks, Jimmy Kimmel. You know what? Let's just do all the trailers up front, Jordan. Let's do all the trailers. Let's start with the trailer we both want to talk about first, because we always do the bad stuff first. Let's do the fun thing first. For once in our lives. For once in our lives, Jordan, we're gonna do the fun thing first.
Okay.
That Wolverine game looks fucking phenomenal.
Oh, it looks so good.
It looks so
violent.
Fucking good. It looks like everything I love about that Wolverine Origins game. Like that. That's what it is. Is that Wolverine Origins game with like? I'm guessing it's probably gonna be free roam.
It feels well. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be free roam, like a la Mario Odyssey, where you have big areas where you move from area to area, and depending on what point in the game, you'll be in a different area.
Based on, because I'm going to admit it, I watched some, not a bunch of it, just a little bit of it, of the alpha. So like that really rough alpha that leaked. I don't know if you watched any of it.
I don't think I did.
It was basically like your Wolverine. He played kind of similarly to Spider-Man, except for he couldn't swing, and he would climb up buildings with his claws and shit, which is basically what is in this trailer. And it looked like, basically, the different points in the stories, like where he's wearing the different costumes, is a different like area you're gonna do.
Yeah, like a different hub. Basically.
Yeah. So like when he's dressed in like lumberjack,
you're gonna be in the wilderness, in the Canadian wilderness, or like. When he's in the actual Wolverine outfit, you'll probably be at the X Mansion.
I'm guessing,
or like in that area somewhere around there.
It'd be interesting to see how many X-Men wind up in this, because we know Mystique is in it and we know Omega Red is in it, which is sick. So it'd be interesting to see how many other X-Men show up, if indeed any other X-Men show up. It also looks like the gameplay still looks like it's early. Like we don't see a ton of like hub gameplay. Like you see like what I call trailer gameplay, but you don't actually see any hub gameplay, like what it actually looks like. Because it reminds me of...
You see what essentially looks like it would be QuickTime events. You don't see any actual gameplay.
Yeah, and it reminded me, ironically, of that first Spider-Man gameplay footage we saw, where I was like, I hate this. It looks bad. And then we argued about it a bunch, and then it actually came out, and the hub was like nice and clean. It was smooth. It was like a nice combination of both. That's what this reminds me of. But some of the gameplay footage gave me the impression that it's utilizing the technology that Metal Gear Revengeance did, where you could target limbs.
I mean, I hope so.
Which would be sick. That'd
be
sick.
Really cool.
But that I love that game for that reason. You're pretty sure you've played that game, right?
I've played it, but it's been a long time.
But yeah, in that game, the big selling point was that you could specifically target limbs wherever you wanted.
This like the trailer definitely it gave me the impression that they went and they looked at that X-Men Origins Wolverine game and were like, okay, how can we improve on this?
This is the blueprint. What if we did that but better?
But we ramped it up.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so violent. Also, I heard some people say that like that it wasn't initially going to be violent, and the reaction to it made them make it violent. But it is brutal.
It looks awesome in that way.
Possible. I'm
stoked. My thing that I'm curious about. So I kind of hope that the point where he's in the actual Wolverine outfit, I kind of hope that that part of the game he's in New York, like at the Avengers Tower or something, and we get to have like some parts where it's in New York, but now you're Wolverine.
I get the impression that it's going to be similar to Wolverine Origins, where it's going to jump the narrative a bunch, where it's going to alter in one.
I suspect that as well.
I think so.
But I'm just saying, it would be fun to go around, even if it's just Manhattan. Even if you don't get Queens and like. If you don't get all the area, and because it's the same, and I could see them doing that simply because if it's the same people that are making Spider-Man, they already have the model for like Manhattan.
It will
Like
be interesting to see how. I think I saw
they
somewhere.
they have that like that model for that city. So for them to have a part where Wolverine goes there, they don't have to make that. You just input Wolverine into it.
Here's the question: Spider-Man cameo?
I'm just saying, if he's in Manhattan,
Well,
you
I was just saying, do you
absolutely
think
could
there
have
will be
one.
though? Do you think there will be one?
I think it depends. I think if there is a section where we're in Manhattan, yes, I do think
Because
there
like,
will be one. If not, I just unless they're gonna make it where this version of Wolverine is really close with Spider-Man, there would be no reason to.
yeah. My thing is, I've said this before, but I have a real. I'm gonna spoil a cameo in Peacemaker season 2. I don't think Jordan, you don't care, right?
Not really, no.
Those of you who care, plug your ears now. But like, I've said before, I can't stand when the tone of a universe is inconsistent. So like, if you're like, oh, Wolverine is bloody and gory, and in swings Yuri Lowenthal Spider-Man, I'm gonna be like, the tone's gonna feel weird. Because in Peacemaker season 2, Lex Luthor shows up. He shows up, he drops in, and he's being interviewed by Rick Flag Sr. And he's in prison after the events of the
Of the
Superman.
movie.
Yeah, and he talks about how he's in a cell next to some light up glow in the dark guy who's butt fucking a guy with a skin condition, exactly like that. And I'm like, oh, that makes that Superman movie feel weird. Because it's like, okay, if he curses, why aren't people cursing? It makes the tone feel weird. It's why I don't love James Gunn all the time. Because I'm like, it makes the tone of that. So that would be my concern with Spider-Man showing up. Be like, oh, it's gonna make the tone of this universe feel weird. It's not that I don't
I
want them to like cross over, but
I
I'm wary, I guess is my point.
I get what you're saying, but also in terms of the bad guys in the universe, I do believe they swear. In terms of the Spider-Man game, like I believe they would swear.
Yeah,
And so if you have it where
true.
Wolverine is bloody and violent and there is a cameo with Spider-Man, the way that it works for me is if like Wolverine goes to curse and Spider-Man's like, "Whoa, man, like
No, no,
no,
no,
like
no, no, no.
don't do
Don't
that.
do
Like
that.
we have to be better than that." And like if you make it where Peter Parker in particular, you make it where he's like the moral compass basically, because
Yeah.
that's kind of how even in the comics that's how their dynamic
It
goes
will be
is
interesting to see if he shows up
Wolverine
though.
Wolverine is the rough and tumble one and Peter is the good boy. But also to be fair, you could easily do a thing where, and this would be fun. This is what I would want them to do is if you're gonna have a Spider-Man cameo, I want Wolverine. I want the game to take place before the first game, and I want it to be a younger version.
Ooh, that'd be kind of fun. That was the one thing I realized when I was playing Spider-Man 2, is you constantly see there's all these flashbacks to Spider-Man when he's first starting, but you never get to see Spider-Man. You only ever see him as Peter Parker in those sequences. Like he has his web shooters and he's starting off being Spider-Man, but you never actually get to see that version of Spider-Man. I've maintained I would totally play a Spider-Man Insomniac origin game. Like I understand their desire to move forward. Like I'm way more interested in that, especially after the second one where you killed half of his rogues gallery.
I
Spoiler
mean,
alert.
that's just it,
Like
right?
I want to go back and I want to have him fight some. I want to have him fight Scorpion for the first time. Like yeah, the last time kind of felt like it was like the last time. It's like I want to see the first time. Like I'm way
So
more
yeah,
interested in that than a Venom. That although I mean I'm still gonna play the shit out of a Venom spinoff. Like don't get me
so
wrong. Don't get me wrong.
So for me, like what I think would be fun and would be kind of clever for them to do is have it be where, and this is just me spitballing a mission idea, where whoever Wolverine is working for in this, whether it be Shield or what have you, is like, yeah, there's a new character in New York, in Manhattan, that's been like seen around. We need you to go check him out and see what his deal is.
That'd be pretty
And
rad.
he goes, and it's like a year one or a year two
That'd be
Spider-Man.
so rad.
And you have a boss battle where you have to fight against
That
Spider-Man.
would be so rad. But yeah.
Especially because it's
Um.
all Insomniac. They absolutely could do it. Like,
So Jordan, how are we feeling? Let me ask you this: how are we feeling today?
Tired?
How are we feeling about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie?
Oh, indifferent. I could give
Utterly
two
indifferent?
shits.
Okay, here's the thing though, right? I'm gonna say one thing about this trailer. This is a bad trailer. Like just like straight up, it's not a good trailer.
I
What's
mean,
astonishing about this trailer and how bad this trailer is they showed a trailer at like several Comic Cons, and I've seen it, and it's way better. Like this just looks like
so
it's a trailer for another season of the show. Like it just
well,
becomes
I was gonna say that. But what's funny to me is, I think, and this is a controversial thought here. I think Star Wars fans are starting to wake up and get tired because all of the comments that I saw,
yeah.
or
They
a
were
lot of the
pretty
comments,
hate. They hated this.
they were like, "This is so boring looking. This looks so generic." Like they were over it,
There's
and that's kind of my feeling with this. Is it's like if they had done a Grogu Mandalorian movie from the get-go, then that maybe would have been
well,
cool.
okay,
But
okay.
no. Let me finish my
I do have asterisks to this.
let me finish my thought though. Because at this point, all this the trailer you sent me anyway, all it is to me, it just looks like another season of the show, and that's because their show isn't a show. Their show is a movie.
Right. Okay. Here's what I okay. No, I disagree on the first season. The first season is the best season of that show. It feels like a show. It's condensed. It's concise. It has nothing to do with the rest of the universe, and it's just its own little thing. And then the second and third season became a game of, hey, it's that thing I recognize. And yeah, there has really been a turn on Dave Filoni. Like Dave Filoni was to be anointed new Star Wars god. Like he was going to be the guy who was going to save it all. I mean, he became Anakin. It was said that he would destroy the Sith, not join them. Like that's how these guys are treating Dave Filoni. And I will say, yeah, this trailer is bad. There is the trailer of there's a sweet sequence where the Mandalorian bursts in and he goes bang 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 and he kills all these guys at a super successive rate. It's super fast, it's super clean looking, it looks expensive, it looks well choreographed, like it looks good, and none of that is in this trailer.
But here's my thing, and this is ultimately why it's a failure as it before it's even out, before I've even seen a halfway decent trailer, even just hearing that it was a movie, I was like, this is a failure. And it's a failure unless. Can you go into this not having seen any
That's
of?
the thing. I was thinking that earlier when you were like all the I was like it is the ultimate culmination of I have to do homework to watch this movie.
Yeah,
Like that's
I don't believe, for example, like if I took someone who hadn't seen any of the
me.
Grogu
Like,
and
if we go
Mandalorian
to watch the
stuff.
movie, I haven't watched season 2, 3, and also apparently it's not just allegedly. Apparently this is allegedly the finale to Dave Filoni's part of the universe. So it's not just a finale to the Mandalorian and Grogu. It's supposedly a finale to all of the Ahsoka stuff, all of the Rebel stuff. Like it's supposedly wrapping it all up.
The Boba Fett stuff.
Yeah, it's apparently gonna wrap it all up. And like,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
okay,
if I didn't
sure.
watch Ahsoka or Rebels, like, am I gonna get anything out of this? And it's like the trailer to
Am I
me,
gonna understand any of it? Like, who are these characters? What's happening? Who
and
are they?
you can get away with that if it looks interesting. Like if there's interesting looking action sequences, if there's interesting, and this trailer does nothing. I did see some interesting stuff again in a leaked trailer, but this trailer has none of that, and I'm so indifferent. I don't know what. Honestly,
Good.
I'm way more excited for, and I will probably turn out for, and I will encourage us to turn out. I don't think I'm going to turn out for this. I will watch it. Catchphrase. Let's get that on a T-shirt. We need to get this on a T-shirt. I will watch it on streaming.
I watch it on
And
streaming like God intended.
As God intended. I will give that Starfighter movie a chance.
Starfighter.
The one with Ryan Gosling, where it's
Oh.
it's after Episode 9 and has nothing to do with the rest of the
Yeah.
universe. I will
Yeah,
I will
probably.
support that.
I'll give
to
that
encourage
more of
them
a chance.
to encourage them to make original shit from this universe.
Yeah. I'm kind of at the point where it's like largely
But like I'm also on the side of
when
like
it
Dave Filoni does deserve to wrap up his little part of the universe. He has
Well, I mean,
created
sure,
a large part of it. He does deserve that.
He could have just been given a sixth season of Mandalorian. Like that's all this
Yeah, but
is.
again, it's all going to depend on what they
Doesn't
are they
really
doing
warrant a
anything.
movie.
All right, well, that's just it. This trailer doesn't show off anything interesting. Like, did they do anything with the budget? Is this the like Mandalorian the movie? Because like I'm not against doing a show the movie. Like, we love a show the movie, but it has to do something to be different from the show. This just doesn't. This is, again,
the trailer doesn't give a good impression. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it's a bad trailer. Like, just flat out, full stop. I think everyone has said I haven't seen a single person who thought this was a good trailer. Like, I haven't seen much positive. I've seen people be like, well, I like The Mandalorian and I like Grogu, and then shrug, and that's kind of the most positive thing I could say. People.
For me, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm kind of at the point where I largely don't support the movies anymore.
No, again, I will watch.
They haven't really done anything for me for a while. I support the games more than anything.
I'll watch the television shows on Disney Plus weeks after everyone's already done talking about them.
If I watch them at all.
If I watch them at all. And it has to... I mean, there's a couple of the animated stuff that's like, there's just so much of it. That's the thing, is I just don't have the time to sit down and... yeah, the Bad Batch could be as good as it wants, but I just don't have the time to sit down and commit to it. Or the same thing with Clone Wars. The only one I was able to watch that I quite liked, and I went, why are they not making movies about this? Was, shit, what was it called? The Tales of the Force? The one where it was like it was split into two. It was about Count Dooku, and it was about Ahsoka. And I was like, why are we not making a Count Dooku movie? I would watch a Count Dooku movie.
There's different versions of that. There's Tales of the Jedi. There's Tales of the Empire. There's a few different variations of that one.
It's the one I watched where it was Ahsoka and Count Dooku was good. I'm like, I'd watch this. This is interesting. But then also like that weird show where every episode's animated by someone different also looked bad. So like, I don't watch it.
Yeah, I'm at the point for me where it's like, if it takes place in the Skywalker saga, I'm out.
For me, it all depends on what they're doing and where they like how they're doing it. Like,
there's nothing new for them to do.
It can exist in that time frame, but like for me, that like I don't mind it's a random guy and it's him having to deal with the Empire like that. I don't mind, but no, if it involves like
at a certain point,
I like at a certain point it becomes inevitable that Luke Skywalker is going to show up digitally de-aged. But I'm saying like I like the first season of The Mandalorian because it has nothing to do with anything. So and that takes place during or post Return of the Jedi. So like I'm like, I don't mind that. It's when the other characters show up and they're digitally de-aged and you got digitally de-aged Han Solo. I'm like, no, thank you. Pass, hard pass.
Yeah. See, for me, if you want to do stuff in the Skywalker
the only
saga,
exception is Darth Vader.
like you want to have like a Han Solo shows up and stuff like that. That's where the video games come in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do that stuff in the video games like that. It doesn't really matter to me if Han Solo sounds slightly different.
Darth
like
Vader.
if it's just a voice match.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like movies and shows, I want more. I want the High Republic era. Yes. I want the Old Republic.
I want year one Darth Vader.
I want even that. Like just
I am always okay with more Darth Vader. He is the one exception to the no more Star Wars rule. If you want to do a Darth Vader show, I am in full support of a Darth Vader show. Put Hayden Christensen in the suit. He'll do it. He'll put the suit on. He wants to do it. Do it. There was a rumor that they were gonna do it. Oops. Jordan.
That's where I say that Obi-Wan show, it should have been an Obi-Wan Darth Vader show where it's like it showed year one Darth Vader, like it cut between the two. There's so many ways they could have made that show better than it was.
James Cameron, Jordan. James Cameron is a man of many ideas, some of which some might consider unnatural. By unnatural, I mean, what's the word? Ripped off. Derivative of other things.
Hackneyed.
Hacktastic. Look, no, I don't. My thing with all of there's a lot of ideas in this, and they're not being they're conflicting. It's like, okay, so yeah, okay. There's the evil fire people who are atheists and don't believe in God.
You mean the Fire Nation?
No, see, I wouldn't equate them to the Fire Nation. I mean, other than
Oh,
other
I
than they
would.
have fire, their ideology is not really all that similar. But then you've got this.
Justin, there was once a race of blue people, and they were all living in harmony, and everything was good until the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, but that's not what these guys are.
That's what they're doing. They want to burn the world down.
Yeah, no, again, I see the comparison, but like when you actually listen to the dialogue in the trailer, their deal is more like they're not look they want to burn everything. They don't want to control anything. They're pissed that the God, which is very real and does exist, that's the thing that's really dumb. Like they're playing this in the trailer like that. What it does is the God real or not? But the God is very much real. It brought Sigourney Weaver back to life. Like that's the whole deal. Like it's real. It's a real thing. Or no, I think it brought Jake back to life. But regardless, it's real. The God is real. So it's got that idea. And like my thing with the concept of the evil avatars, they're a movie too late. I don't think they're uninteresting, and I don't think that the villain, I quite like her. I think she's suitably intimidating. But she's a movie too late. By the third movie, I'm like, who cares? I might have been interested in her in the second one, but the second one really seems insistent on setting up, I'm guessing, the bad guy from the first one, who supposedly is in all of these. It seems to be setting him up as being like her co-villain or whatever. But
I
like,
mean, she would have been more interesting to me, and maybe they'll do this, but she would have been more interesting to me if she was the reverse Jake, where she hated her blue people and she wanted to be human, and she uses the technology that Jake used to
maybe.
become a blue person to become human.
Well, but yeah, that's the other thing is there's also this weird idea. Like they're like, oh, humans might. What if humans could come here and breathe? And they show the human kid
one
like
human
jacking
dude.
into the horse. And you're like, what the? How did he? What? Like it's too. There's too many. There's too much. There's too much in this movie. It's like James Cameron, pick one idea. One of these ideas would have been fine. But there's so much going on in this trailer that it all just kind of washes over you, and you're like,
I mean, my
it's
thing with this movie too is it's too late. I don't care. I don't
yeah.
care. Like, I don't
I
care.
will say this is not as bad as the last one. It certainly is not as many years. I'm not like as who cares as I. It's still within the zeitgeist enough that I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't
But
care last time, and I care even less
no,
this time.
I watched it last time for the curious. I think we had free tickets. I would watch.
Yeah,
I
this is
would only
one
watch
where
this.
I'll watch this on streaming as God intended.
I mean, it depends.
No,
I
it doesn't for me.
I will. I'll go watch it by myself. It depends on how long it is. If it's like a solid.
It's a James Cameron movie. It's going to be way too long.
If it's a solid 2.5, I would go. I would go and I
And
watch it, and
it's a James Cameron one. It's going to be like 3+ hours
I'd be like,
in a theater with screaming children who can't watch movies.
I'd be like, I'm gonna go watch it. You could come with me, and then you'd end up coming with me. It'd be one of those. It'd be one of those scenarios.
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
don't know, man. I really just don't want to. I don't
Um,
want to give up 3 hours to watch this in theaters.
yeah, if it's anything like the last one, and it's 3.5 hours long. I think that last one was 3.5. Midway, I was like next time on streaming. So it's gonna depend on the length. If it's as long as the last one, probably not. If it's shorter,
Because
it's
I
not
remember
for
the
sure.
last one,
This is not like I'm running out to the movie theater to watch this thing. This is I will watch it for the content.
I remember this one or the last one being really long and really
Oh, there's
boring.
an exceptionally boring sequence involving a space whale. But yeah, I would
And
only I would
I just
only
don't looking at the trajectory of how these things have gone. I don't expect this to be any shorter than 3 hours.
yeah, that's why it's not a hard push. It's only we would do it for the content and only if I got the vibe that it would be worth it. Like if
You would have to hard push because you would be pulling me.
yeah, it would only be if like I see a lot of people talking about it and like I think it would be good for our metrics. I would probably consider it, and I could shape an episode around it, maybe. But like otherwise, no. I'll do what I always do, and I'll push it till it hits digital, and then we'll do an episode about it then. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be an episode about colors, about blue people, where we each have to watch movies about blue
about the
people.
blue people.
Smurfs, Avatar. It'll be a whole thing.
It's gonna be a whole thing. Jordan, what should we do next? Wicked. Let's do the Wicked trailer.
The
Um,
only one which looks interesting.
would I think that's coming out in a few weeks? Should we use our passes on that?
Perhaps. Depends. Can Haley come on and talk about it?
Well, I think I'm going on hers to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
You can come on. I could be like, hey, can Jordan come on?
No, that's probably not going to work out because of scheduled times.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, maybe we'll have her on. Maybe we'll have her on. She can come on to ours, and we'll do musicals again, or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But I was thinking about that when I was watching this. I was like, the first one, I was like, nah. But like, I've seen the first one. I'm kind of invested. There was some interesting stuff in this. It's one of those. This is one of those experiences where I could spot things that if you are familiar with the musical, I'm sure you're probably like, da. But for me, I'm just like, oh, okay. So like when she floated down in the bubble at the beginning of the first one, that was all bullshit. She was faking.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually do magic, because I was like, wait, that conflicts with the, and that comes with the whole, like, they're giving you half a story of a complete story. So you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. This is how this pays off. I think one of the guys from the first movie gets turned into a lion, into the lion, because he's like, what have you done to me? So I'm guessing there's gonna be some reveal involving the animals. It didn't occur to me that the animals talking in the first movie was a vehicle to explain why the lion can talk when the lion inevitably shows up. That does make a certain amount
Oh,
of sense.
yeah. I hadn't even thought of that.
I know. I just thought of
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I think the main love interest, I think he's gonna end up being the Scarecrow. I'm pretty sure he ends up being the Scarecrow. And then I think the guy SpongeBob, the guy who plays SpongeBob in the SpongeBob musical, Ethan Slater, I think he's the Tin Man. I'm pretty sure. I'm reasonably sure. But yeah, I'm interested in that. I will say this is a much better trailer than the last one was. It's an infinitely better trailer. I think I said the last one was a bad trailer. I said I'm not saying this movie looks bad. I'm saying in terms of it, like a trailer editing, and it has nothing to do because the people who make trailers are different than the people who make the movies. So I'm like, no, it's just a bad trailer.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
this one had the good set. It's like they heard my criticism of the movie's called For Good. There's a song called For Good. You have to end it on the final note of the song. And then this trailer did. I was proud. I was like, oh, good. This is a better trailer.
They listened to our podcast and heard my
They
suggestion.
heard my
Good.
they heard my helpful suggestion. So it's okay. So it's really funny. You sent me this once, and you were like, "Is this real?" And I went, "I don't think it is. It looks fake." No, Jordan, it turns out it's real, and that's Air Bud. Air Bud returns. Apparently,
I
it's coming
sent you
from Cineverse.
I sent you something about Airbud. I don't
Yeah,
remember
you're like,
doing
please
that.
tell me this isn't real. And
Oh, I don't remember that.
and I
Sounds
went,
like something I would sounds like something I would do, but I just don't remember
it
that.
looks like it's fake. So like, wow, they found the dogs, and they're gonna be shooting in Vancouver. Oh, okay, here's a plot description of it. In Air Bud Returns, 12-year-old Jacob always dreamt of being a star basketball player. But after the passing of his father, that dream felt even more impossible. But everything changes when he and his mom move into his dad's childhood home in Fernfield. Oh my god. Strap in, Jordan. This gets dumb. There, Jacob discovers an original VHS of the Air Bud movie and his father's belongings and has a chance meeting of a stray golden retriever he names Buddy. Together, they embark on a journey of healing, unite a team of misfits, and chase a championship through it all. Why the addition? Why the weird meta addition to the plot? What is the necessity of that? I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
yeah, it otherwise just sounds like it's just a reboot of Airbud.
You know,
Like,
otherwise, it sounds like a
why not
reboot of Air Bud.
why not just have it be a reboot of Airbud? I
I thought
guess
for
it's
sure it was
supposed to
gonna be like
be
his
a
dad's the kid from the original movies. I was gonna
Oh
be like,
no,
oh, that's
I
dumb.
thought as soon as you said he found the VHS or the tape of the original Airbud, I thought you were gonna say, and then Airbud comes out of the TV
Oh,
and
that
it's
would be even
the
stupider.
Airbud, the Airbud from the movie, and then he teaches him a life
I
lesson,
feel like the bit about the VHS tape is probably not going to survive to the final movie, because that seems like a really weird and unnecessary addition. Just call it what it is, a reboot. That franchise got
well, I
dumb.
mean, it's not
They were
okay.
talking
So
dogs by the end of that franchise.
it's not unnecessary. Yeah, yeah. It's not unnecessary necessarily. It can be a fun tongue-in-cheek callback, as long as you're not like, yeah, it's a tape of his dad from the original Air. But no, but like if you just make it where it's like, yeah, he's just a kid and he's watching Air Bud
And then he
because he likes
happens to
Air
find
Bud,
his
and
own
then he
basketball
finds
playing
and then he
dog.
finds and then he finds a dog and names him Air Bud.
And he just happens to be able to also coincidentally play basketball.
I mean, no, I would make it where the dog isn't good at basketball and he just likes playing with them.
But then what? But how? What? But the whole point of Aaron. But Jordan, I need to end this conversation right now. You have enraged me. We need to stop. The whole point is he's a basketball playing or sport. He needs to play a sport. It's the whole point of Airbud.
I mean,
Fired.
no, no.
You're fired off the podcast. I'm
The
replacing
kid
you.
is the kid is the Air Bud,
No,
and that's the joke.
No, but that what? No, no. You should feel ashamed of yourself. That's bad. It's bad. You should feel bad. I hate every bit of that. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Uh,
Um,
it's not any
really
worse than finding an old tape of his dad, and his dad is Air Bud, and
interesting. They announced a casting for Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and this is exciting, Jordan. I'm excited by this. They've announced the casting for Tombstone.
cool. I heard that Tom Holland hit his head and got a concussion.
Yeah, it has, and apparently everyone's mad at him for delaying production. But no, that's exciting because that tells me that yeah, it's a ground level, like low D grade, like style Spider-Man villains. But the interesting bit is, all you need to know about the guy who's playing him is he looks just like Tombstone. It's quite remarkable. But it's the same guy who plays him in Spider-Verse, same actor,
Cool.
and
Cool.
it's unclear as to whether or not there's a reason for that or if that is just a coincidence.
That's pretty cool.
So it'll be interesting to find out if if they're gonna end up connecting. Yeah, if they're
Multiverse.
gonna end up connecting. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
I
I'm still
mean,
pretty excited.
what do you mean if they end up connecting? The multiverse exists. We've seen it exist. It is connected. Whether or not they acknowledge it or not, it is.
Um,
Multiverse exists. We
Multiverse
know it
Madness.
exists.
Multiverse Madness, bitch. Jordan. So Tom Holland, he has revealed the heartfelt inspiration behind the Spider-Man Brand New Day suit. And Jordan, it is not because I finally wanted to have a Spider-Man costume that looked correct. Because the rest of my Spider-Man costumes are all wrong. They're all wrong. Not one of them looks good. He said that's the exact quote. That's exactly what he said. He said every single one prior to this one, they were all bad. They were all bad. Every single one. None of them were good. Again, you're looking at me as though this is not a real. This is a real quote. I'm quoting it. I'm reading it right now. You can see. You can see me look down periodically to read how he was like, I Tom Holland, am admitting that every single one of my suits prior to this one is bad. They're all bad. None of them are good.
The people who are listening to this can't see. I'm shaking my head
He's shaking
judgmentally.
his head in agreement. He's
Nope.
nodding. He's currently nodding.
Back and forth,
Which-
extremely
Which
judgmentally.
means yes.
I've now
Jordan,
crossed my
I'm not the
arms.
one saying it. It's Tom Holland who's saying it. It's an
Sure.
actual quote. But no, he said
Why?
Jordan, he said that it was inspired by the Tom Andrews, the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield costumes. It was inspired by them. Which it should be.
Like
Because theirs is
like
objectively correct looking.
like in universe, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I ran into two other Spider-Man and they inspired this suit."
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. According to this, Tom Holland said, yeah, I really like the idea that he's trying to be his big brothers, that he looks up to them and he sees the little details in their suits that he thinks are really cool. So yeah,
Huh.
in universe, it would seem that way, yeah.
I was being a sarcastic,
I know,
smarmy
so was
asshole,
I.
but oh, all
I was
right.
like, I thought it was like externally, it was like, well, their costumes are correct because they're correct. like Andrew Garfield is more correct than Tobey Maguire's, but Tobey Maguire's is infinitely more correct than any of the wrong bad ones that Tom Holland wore.
Bad is such a strong word.
Bad as in not good, as in terrible, as in they never look right.
In your opinion.
No, just generally, none of them look right. They don't. They're all wrong.
You feel this way.
This is the only objectively correct one. No, I don't. Tom Holland said it. He said it. It was down. It was written down. It's quote. Actual quote from Tom Holland.
Right. Wink.
What? What's that? What? It's Tom Holland's lawyers. They're telling me to knock it off. He didn't. He didn't actually say that.
Wink.
I said that. Jordan, The Big Bang Theory. They said that spinoff, that Stewart Saves the Universe spinoff, that the last time we talked about it, apparently it was a multiverse thing, and it instantly made it more interesting.
Has been canceled.
No, they apparently announced the date. It's coming in July. No. This article lies. This article said that it said a date.
July 3037.
Okay. I'm guessing sometime next year that this article lies. It said there was a date. It embarrassed me. We're moving on.
1557. It came out 97 years ago.
So apparently, okay. This is a really weird. Like they keep changing the title of this movie. This is now, I'm pretty sure, the third time we've talked about a title for this movie. But apparently, the official title for The Social Network Part 2 is called, Jordan, want to give me a little drum roll? It's not working. We can't hear it. The Social Reckoning. And it will come out October 9th, 2026.
Who cares?
Apparently some people. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not actually a sequel. Who cares?
Death
by Snoo.
James Gunn defended the controversial choice to have Jor-El and Lara be like bear fruit and multiply. And
oh, he's not going the route that Lex Luthor hacked it, and it wasn't actually what they said.
He said that he's apparently said in the director's comedy that the commentary that the message wasn't fake or planted by Lex Luthor, that it will not be changed in any future DCU project. He says, quote, "Now this is probably the most controversial thing I did with Superman's origin. I'm a big Superman fan, and I don't want to change important, integral things about Superman. His goodness of heart, the fact that he won't kill, the fact that he's in love with Lois Lane, even the curl on his head. All things I want to keep Superman. So the question is, what can you add to the mythos? That's a little bit different. That doesn't really essentially in any way change who the character is. And although Clark's parents usually in the comics are benevolent, that isn't always the case. And that's true. He's not wrong. If you're like, this is wrong what they did with Jor-El, you haven't read enough comics. Jor-El isn't always super special awesome.
No, he's not. I
don't believe him, though. I don't believe him that there's no way he's changing it. Because there's background hints in the movie that indicate that it might still be fake. So I think it might end up being a Brainiac thing, or he might change it later on if he really people really hate it. Jordan.
I mean, I could also see it being a thing where it's like it is real, and then there's a very tender scene between Supergirl and Superman in the Supergirl movie where she's like, dude, even if it is true, fuck what your parents think, do things your own way.
Well, my thing is just like, if it is real, yeah, Supergirl, his reasoning for why Supergirl wouldn't have said that the message was fake is lazy and flimsy. Like, he was like, well, not everyone knows everything that happens on the planet. Yeah, but that's her uncle. Like, you would think he'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, your dad, who I knew personally because he was my uncle, said to fuck a lot. Find a concubine and breed, bitch, breed. You would think she would have said something about that.
I mean, no, if my uncle was like that, I'd probably want to bury it deep down and not ever want to acknowledge it.
I mean, that is true. I feel like something in Supergirl is gonna change it. I think, because just his explanation for it was weird. It was like, all right, this feels lazy.
Only time and James Gunn will tell.
We'll eventually tell. Well, he's supposedly he's already told. Interesting. So apparently, did you know Pixar was gonna make a live action movie at one point?
That seems sick and wrong, and I
I
don't,
know.
I don't appreciate you perpetuating such wild rumors.
It was called 1906, and apparently it was scrapped because the studio wanted to convey a story with heroes rather than ordinary people. Apparently, it was going to be directed by the same director who did the Incredibles. And
Oh, oh, okay. So
yeah, that was.
are they gonna make it or?
Oh, this is something. This is something that they were in the process of making. I thought this was like a. They made it like this was like a history thing. Like they were gonna make live action. So this sounds like this was something that was in production, and that they are having creative differences, with the people who want to make it. And so it doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Well,
But yeah, that would feel wrong, wouldn't it?
I mean, at that point, what makes Pixar different from Disney?
Yeah, true.
Pixar is animation. Pixar doesn't do live action. That's sick and wrong.
That
Sick and
is
wrong, I
that
say.
is sick and wrong. Jordan, final final story. Jordan, you know they're making a Beekeeper 2?
That's the one with Jason Statham, right?
Having seen Beekeeper 1, are you stoked on a Beekeeper 2?
I mean, I like Jason Statham movies, so yes, on that basis alone, I am. I don't remember how it ends to remember if it ends in a way where a sequel makes sense.
Fair enough. I haven't seen the first one, so I wouldn't know. That's the news. Oh,
Da 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 da.
that's. I thought we were gonna go for longer than that.
No, I'm tired, and then I was trying something new.
Oh, all right then. Today's show is brought to you once again by our good friends over at Wild Education. They need help and support. They need to move. They've been told they need to move and they want to buy their own place and they need the financial support to do so. So if you click the link in our description, I'll take you to their GoFundMe. And friend of the show, Leanne, is going to be doing a very fun live stream when I have a link or something to share with you guys on October 6th. She hasn't exactly decided the time, but she's going to be interviewing a scientist. She's going to be playing a very fun video game where you get to sell geckos to people. She can be answering questions all day long to raise awareness about some of the, I'm going to be honest with you, bullshit laws that they're trying to enact that would prevent them from doing the very necessary work to take care of the animals that not everyone necessarily loves, but are still awesome.
So what you're trying to say is, won't someone think of the animals?
Somebody think of the lizards and the
Rar,
snakes
rar,
and the serval cat
rar,
and the sulcatas.
rar.
They're not as cute as a dog. Debatably.
I said rar,
Debatable.
Justin.
I don't know, man. You haven't had a chill ass Tengu sit in your lap. You'd be like, I like you. I'm gonna sit here. It's pretty sweet.
Rar.
Rawr. But yes,
Rawr.
you can go support them by clicking the link in our description. Please and thank you on our behalf. Hey. On today's second half of the today's shows, that made sense. Jordan very cleverly came up with an idea of pick a letter, and then I went, Jordan, you know what the natural opposite to a letter is? Jordan, what's the natural opposite to a letter?
A color.
What? Really? Okay, let's do that again, but this time do it right. Jordan, what's the natural opposite to a letter?
An uppercase let no number. A number. It was a number.
I will strike you down, and you will become more powerful than I could possibly imagine.
I will become a martyr.
Yes, no, I came up with the idea. Let's do numbers. So all of these movies all have numbers in them, or are a number.
How many, Justin? Do you have one movie?
I've got,
Two movies.
I've got
Three movies. Ah.
I've got 9 movies.
Nine movies.
Nine.
Ah.
9. Joe, what's your first?
So, now we move on to rapid fires, and we get to talk about my first one, which is called 50 First Dates.
Oh yes.
Adam
I know this
Sandler, Drew Barrymore and the rest.
It's the one where she
Um,
has selective amnesia every day, and the
she
ethics of this
she
are questionable.
she has short-term memory loss. She's basically Dory.
She forgets him
And
every single day.
she forgets everything every single day, and she thinks that it is one specific day. And so even ignoring the Adam Sandler being into her
So it's,
part,
it's like a medical
well,
condition?
hold on. Yeah, she was in a car crash. They actually had like a name for it. I don't know if it's a real thing, but I assume it's a real
So it
thing.
wasn't like her whole life she was like this. It's
No, she was in a car accident
right. So
and
she's stuck in this.
and she hit her head, and
Gotcha.
she's now stuck in living the same day, which is her dad's birthday.
Oh.
Um, and so it leads to all sorts of ethical questions where even ignoring the fact that Adam Sandler wants to date her, in the beginning, her dad and brother, every day she wakes up, thinks it's his birthday, and they like go through the same routine every single
That
day.
feels. But also, I mean, I suppose there would be. Oh, it might disturb her mentally to not. Oh, so to make allows her to feel comfortable. Maybe is the would be the
I mean,
justification.
that's kind of the argument that they give, but then Adam Sandler is like, and that's great, until it's like 30 years later and she's old as sin and doesn't understand why.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so then, yeah, over the course of the movie, he gets to know her over and over again and falls in love. And so there's a certain point where he makes a tape where he explains everything. And so then every day and this is where I say the ethics of it, had her family communicated with her better, then she would have done earlier on what she ends up doing, which is she writes a diary to herself every single day, telling herself what has happened. And then she watches the tape, so then she knows to look at her diary, so then she knows what has happened.
That seems sensible. It seems like a sensible.
Um,
That seems like a sensible solution to this problem instead of just blissfully letting her live in her ignorance for 30 years.
Yeah, like to the point where like they had the dad had like hundreds of the same newspaper that came out the day that she had her accident printed so that they can have it every single day. Or like she on that day will paint the garage with a thing like with paintings and stuff, which is her birthday present to him. And then at the end of the day, her father and her brother paint over the painting that she has spent all day doing so that she can do it again the next
Yeah, they
day.
seem
And it's
worse.
like that just seems so
I
unethical.
feel like you're supposed to be like Adam Sandler is probably the bad one, but they seem bad.
He comes in and like, yeah, at first he's like his friend who is whatchamacallit, Rob Schneider is like, yeah, you can have fun with her and then take off on your boat and she won't even miss you because she won't remember you. It's great. And then over the course of the movie, yeah, Adam Sandler falls in love with her and actually cares and is a good, decent human being who wants to help her move past this thing that she's been stuck in for like I don't even remember how long it had been, but a lot of years. And it's a good movie though,
It's cute,
overall. Like I enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
cute, it's cute.
And and I guess my thing with this movie too is there's a number of these movies where like they have Adam Sandler and he's with and I'm gonna there's no I don't know how to say this but they always have him with a girl or a woman that is just so far out of his league that it's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah,
Drew
yeah.
Drew Drew Barrymore, especially at this point in time with him and her, they feel like they're on the same level.
I feel like
He could pull Drew
he could pull
Barrymore
Drew Barrymore.
with especially if he has essentially Life is Strange powers where he can keep living through the day over and
I
over again
mean,
until he knows exactly how to win her over.
that's pretty much what he's got.
You
Just
know,
keeps doing it
so
over and over and over again.
but yeah, no, that's 51st Dates. It's
That's good.
it's fun.
All right.
Oh, and the important thing, all of the ones I watched were on streaming, so you should be able to find them.
All right. So my first one, um, is quite honestly, I think it might be Zack Snyder's best movie, and that is 300. Hoo ha! Um, This movie is very interesting because it's what frustrates me. It's a movie that makes me frustrated by Batman vs Superman because dude can nail a comic book adaptation. Because this is an adaptation of the comic book 300 by Frank Miller, and my God, does it look exactly like the comic book, one for one. I guess for those of you who are unfamiliar with 300, it is the story of 300 Spartan soldiers who fight off 10,000 Persian soldiers, and it is based off of a real battle between two people, but the numbers are obviously exaggerated over time, so they figured it was more like a few thousand like Spartan Greeks versus like a few thousand Persians, but it got way, it was like tens of thousands of Persians, and it got like exaggerated to hundreds of thousands of Persians over the years.
What? No. What are you talking about, Justin? This is an exact historical, accurate representation of what happened. I don't know.
Well,
It happened exactly like this with exactly this many numbers. The camera was there recording it all. This is exactly it.
It absolutely like try. I don't know if it's trying to pretend to be, but it feels like maybe it wants to kind of come across as quasi historically accurate until like a magical. Until the movie's basically like, yeah, no, but also magic is a thing, and you're like, oh, okay, well, okay, so this is based on a true story, but like, yeah, man, it's all the action sequences are sick, like when it's like shirtless, like sweaty, muscular men slicing each other's limbs off, it's fucking sweet. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's not cool, like the action sequences aren't cool. The movie would be 20 minutes shorter if it wasn't in slow motion all the time because it's Zack Snyder, and it's definitely got that Zack Snyder. Everything is like low grade sepia tone, dark and dimly lit.
Green.
But I won't lie and say I didn't go, "This is Sparta" when he said that, or "Tonight we dine in hell." There's several World of Warcraft achievements that were called that.
Yeah, but this is Sparta.
This is Sparta. My question about that movie is what other than like kicking guys down it, what is the big hole for? Like traditionally, they got the big bottomless hole that you have to specifically line up a guy in front of, so then you can boot him in the chest and kick him into it. But like on like Tuesday through Saturday, what is the big hole for?
Poop.
Oh, you put the poop down it. Oh no, that makes sense.
I mean, I'm just guessing,
Yeah,
but
you poop
like
in your pots and then you toss the poop in the big poop hole. Yeah, that makes sense.
you have to put it somewhere.
So that Persian guy just landed on a big pile of poo.
He's fine. He's just covered in shit.
He's just covered in shit. So have you seen 300?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I did it on this show.
Did you do it on the show?
Or I did the sequel to it on this show, which would imply that I had seen the original.
I know we've seen the second. We watched the second one in theaters. This was
I definitely. I know that I've seen. I whether or not it was for the show or not. I know I've seen the first one. There's the dude who is like the cripple or whatever who betrays them to the Persian.
He's based on a real person. And he did it. Like, there's a lot of weird shit in this movie that's like historically accurate. Like Leonidas was a real guy. The king, the king with all the jewelry on him is a real guy. Was he a freakish looking hunchback dude? It's unclear. But yeah, one of the things when I was watching this was like I was reading a lot of the historical background on it. And it's like, yeah, no, this is slight exaggeration here or there, but it's more or less accurate to what happened in real life, which I thought was really made the movie kind of slightly more interesting. I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's again well-made movie. All of the action sequences are clear and easy to see. God damn it, if Zack Snyder can't shoot a friggin' action sequence. I dug this movie. I had a good time. This was unlike last week. Most of these movies were good. There's just a couple which were terrible. We'll get there. That's it. That's 300.
Okay, so you have obviously heard of the movie 17 Again. This is not that. I watched 18 Again.
So this is not a sequel to 17 Again.
No.
Oh,
This came out in 1988.
Oh, that's well before 17. I wonder if 17 Again is based on this.
I don't think so. But I could say maybe it might be inspired by this. but I don't think like because like in 17 again, um, what's his name becomes Zac Efron, and it's like that's young him, whereas this is a body swap.
Fair. That's a good point.
Um, this is very much he makes the grandpa makes a wish at his 81st birthday party. He's like what do I wish for? I have everything. And then he has a whole song and dance number, and that's the other big difference is this has song and dance numbers. But he has a whole song and dance number where he's like, I suppose if I had to wish for one thing, it would be to be 18 again. And like he doesn't wish, and this is like where it's like a real uh Jin wish scenario where it's like his wish gets twist monkey paw situation where it's like his wish gets twisted and it's not exactly what he wished for because it's like he doesn't get turned into an 18-year-old version of himself again, but him and his grandson end up getting in a car accident and then their souls get switched. And so the grandson is in the grandpa's 81-year-old body in a coma, and the grandpa is in his grandson's body as an 18-year-old. And yet, it's still very nice about the fact that like he goes through his grandson's life and like mostly maintains things like they should be, but like improves them and like. And it's really like, oh, this is what your life could be like if you had the self confidence that I, an 81-year-old who has lived a full life, has. So, like, the grandson is in track just like the grandpa was when he was when he was young, but the grandson isn't very good, but the grandpa is really good, even though the grandpa is in the grandson's body. So it's like the grandson could be just as good. It's his body. He's capable of everything that's being done,
Fair.
but he just doesn't have the confidence to do it. That's kind of the point that they do. Um, and it's just really this really cute, fun kind of movie where um the grandpa, yeah, he improves his grandson's life, and then at the end of it, they end up switching back and happily ever after.
And
Um,
happily ever after happens.
but what was funny is as I was watching it, so the grandson's body, the main guy that is playing. So, okay, the grandpa's character's name is Jack Watson. And so Jack Watson is in David Watson, his grandson's body, right? So
Got it.
the guy who's playing David Watson is called Charlie Schlater. Um, and as I was watching this, every time he would do this smile, I would be like, he looks familiar, and I couldn't figure out why. Like I couldn't figure out why he looked familiar. And so I looked up his filmography and I found out that he is in the TV version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And the smile that he has is, I guess, so similar to Matthew Broderick's Ferris Bueller's smile that like my brain, I'm like, I can see why he got chosen for the TV version of
Because
that
he looks
character.
like Matthew Broderick.
At least similar enough that my brain is like clearly recognizing that one thing from a completely different actor. It's very bizarre. Um, but this movie was very interesting to me because I, with the exception of there's one name here who I didn't recognize him when I was watching the movie, but I do know him. But I didn't recognize any of these names going into this. Like the guy who plays the grandpa is George Burns.
I know
Don't
that
know who
name.
that is.
I know who that is. I recognize the
But
name.
the only name that I'm reading here on this list that I actually recognize, even though I don't watch a lot of his stuff, is Pauly Shore.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who Pauly Shore is. I recognize that name.
But other than that, there's not really any ones from here that I know.
There aren't
So
any
yeah,
ones or twos.
if uh if you're looking for a fun movie, fun kind of 80s or late 80s, early 90s movie, this is one you could watch.
All right.
18 again.
All right. Is that it for 18 again?
It is. It is
All
it
right.
for 18 again.
My next one. Um, my next one is a movie about a fella who played baseball by the name of Jackie Robinson, starring Chadwick Boseman. It's a movie called 42, and it is about Jackie Robinson and all the prejudice he faced as a black baseball player who attempted to move from the black leagues up to the white leagues. He suffers racism. Harrison Ford is his owner of the team, who he spots Jackie Robinson and he brings him in, and he's quite good in this. And throughout this, I realized I know nothing about baseball beyond the basic mechanics of you hit the ball and you run the bases, and if you're in the field, you catch the ball. But the mechanics of how the teams what is the difference between a manager and a coach? What is a?
I assume a manager deals with the business end of like making trades and like all that kind of stuff, whereas a coach is the one that's on the field actually like working with you to be better at what you're doing.
But in this movie, the manager is the guy who's on the field coaching you to be better at what you're doing, and the owner seems to be doing that business stuff. So I don't. Is there a baseball? But then also I've seen in movies and TV that there is a coach. So is there a difference? Is it the same thing? Is it just because this is in the 1940s? Is it different back then? And it seems that you need a manager because at one point, in what I'm guessing was probably worse in real life, the guy from Law and Order SVU is the manager, and he gets suspended because he's cheating on his wife with this woman who he says he's in love with. But the movie doesn't really go into any detail about that because it's obviously not about him. So it's one of those situations where you're like, well, I'm sure in real life there's probably more to this than that, but you're skipping right over it. Alan Tudyk shows up as a guy who says the N-word a lot, and it's really weird because it's Alan Tudyk and he's just saying the N-word a bunch. Alan Tudyk, where do you know him from? He was on Doom Patrol. He was Mr. Negative on Doom Patrol. He's the guy. He's voice actor. He does voices for everything.
He does machines.
He's you know him as like King Candy and a bunch of different other people.
King Candy.
King Wesselton and the Weaselton.
Oh, him. Yeah. He's also I think he was in that movie where he's he's a knight or something with the Joker.
The Joker.
Knight's Tale?
Oh, yes. He's in that as well. Yes. He's also in that as well, yeah. He's the rival manager, former player turned manager, and he just says the N-word a bunch. And then he gets in trouble because the boss of his team's like, you can't be doing that, you have to get along. And so he's forced to take a picture with him, and they do at the end of the movie they do the text of what happened to everybody, and his text is really his text is like, and he never managed another team ever again. Then there's a funny character who keeps complaining about being transferred to Baltimore. He's like, Baltimore, and then his little ending text is he was transferred to Baltimore. But this stars Chadwick Boseman, and he is phenomenal. A real loss, real tragedy losing him because he has so much charisma. Like he's never a stereotype. Like the performance, he's so charismatic and genuine, and like you want him to succeed because he's just so nice, and he's never instigates, and it does
Wakanda forever.
It's hard to tell. It does kind of have a eugenics bend a little bit, but it's hard to tell if that's just because this is a movie taking place in the 1940s, or this is how the people in the 1940s believed, or if it's like, oh no, this is a reflection of the person who wrote this kind of deal. But there's a lot of like, black people are just inherently genetically, athletically better than white people, and that's why we want black people on our team. And it implies that Jackie Robinson is better at baseball because he's black.
I definitely think part of that comes from the fact that it's supposed to take place in the 40s or whatever.
It was hard to tell if that was the case, though, and that is too, I think, the film's kind of detriment. But it's still really good. It's quite good. It's very uplifting. It's everything you want an uplifting, inspiring sports movie to be. And it was quite good. I enjoyed it.
Sports ball! And the favorite American pastime.
Sports ball.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Do you have any final thoughts on Baseball, the movie?
I do not.
All right. My next rapid fire. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. The second.
It has cars.
That race. A lot.
And Paul Walker.
And Paul Walker, and it's the second of a long-running franchise.
It is. Yeah, this one. So
This is when these used to still be cop
it's
movies.
kind of
They
it's
weren't
kind
heist
of
movies.
funny how, and I always forget. You kind of lose this as it goes on, but um, these movies sort of become about Dom, but they really did start out being Paul
Oh
Walker's
yeah, he absolutely
movies.
was not in the second movie.
No, he's not in this one at all.
No.
But and so it's just funny that as the franchise went on, it kind of became more about Dom.
Yeah, no, it didn't
That's
start
just
off that way. No, he was the.
no,
He's not really. I mean, he's sort of more or less the antagonist of that first movie.
more or less. He's the yeah, more or less. From what I remember of that first one, Paul Walker is sent to infiltrate and take him down. So
Yeah.
yeah, he very much is the
I
one
wouldn't go
that
so far as to say the bad guy, but like he's definitely one of
no,
the antagonists of that movie. That's for sure.
yeah, antagonist force, if you will. And so yeah, then in this one, Paul Walker has been, he's an ex-cop at this point because they weren't too happy that he let Dom go. And so he's been doing all sorts of illegal races to keep winning money and stuff. And then he gets caught in this one, and him and his ex-con friend have to go and take down this other bad dude. But then they end up at the end of the movie walking away with some of the illegal fake money, and they're going to open a shop now. And then it leads into the next one, which I think is Tokyo Drift, which also has nothing to do with any of these characters.
Nope. Until it does in later movies.
Exactly. Um, it's kind of funny because my history with Fast and the Furious,
Fast and
if it
Furious.
if it wasn't for my one friend who in high school who was really into cars and into racing games and into Need for Speed and all those, and he had the Xbox. If it wasn't for that one friend, I would have never watched these movies. I watched it at his house.
I mean, yeah, probably the same. If I'm
Um,
being honest, probably the same.
because I don't know if this comes across, but I'm not a big car guy.
No.
I appreciate like a good looking car, like oh that looks cool, but like all that like what's going on under the hood, the nos, the this and that, they're basically in this movie speaking French to me.
Yeah, I mean this movie. I remember I remember the kids at that school who this inspired them to like build cars and like
Have their low riding cars
yeah.
with the vroom vroom and the yeah no
It's the reason why
absolutely
I know that has to be it's basically like higher than a coaster is as low as it can be before it becomes illegal. But yeah, I know
yeah
people who had like
I
they
seem to remember you working with someone who had one where it was like you could slide like a quarter under and that's how far it was from the ground.
it was ridiculous, and he'd have like this really I knew someone who knew someone who had like a real shitty exterior, but would be like, oh, this thing, and it would be like, whoosh. That all came from this.
Um, but as a movie, we're getting away from the point. As a movie, I probably wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for that one
No,
friend.
no, no.
Wasn't really in my
It's
wheelhouse at the
funny because
time.
like it's one of those franchises that has gone through phases. So I like to think of a person who watched Fast Five first and was like, you know what, I'll start from the beginning. And went back and watched this one, and this one's just so the racing's not even that good.
Not really. I mean, it's fine.
The big thing about these
Uh,
ones are like, and he's like, oh, and then we've got the super special car, and they've each got one of their own cars that I believe is on the poster. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think in this one, yeah,
These are the
yeah.
special cars that have the special bit, and yeah, they eventually. This is what led to racing arcade games having NOS. That's why arcade games have NOS is
Oh,
because of this movie.
that's funny. That's
Wow, I
funny.
assume because this sort of popularized the idea of putting NOS into your.
I know that like the next one, Tokyo Drift, being all about the drifting, made like in racing games, made drifting way more prevalent.
Yeah, absolutely. Drifting wasn't
I'm
really. There's
I'm
a reason
pretty
why it comes from
sure.
Japan. It's
I'm yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it was after Tokyo Drift that like even Mario Kart. That's when
yeah,
they started putting the drifting
yeah,
in as well.
yeah, pretty much. It was about that time. Yeah, that's when it became
Because
kind of popular.
it became very
It
popular at the time.
and maybe debatably Initial D because Initial D was really popular.
I don't remember that one.
Initial D. That we had at Riverport. There was a racing game that was literally an Initial D game. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's Japanese street racing.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I mean, I I think I appreciate the Fast and the Furious movies more now than I did
Fast and
back then,
Furious.
back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
appreciate I appreciate the cultural impact that they had for
For
sure,
better or for worse.
for
I don't
better
know.
or for
My
worse.
opinion, the best one is still Fast Five. That's the best one.
They at a certain point they all blend together
That's the
for
one
me.
where they're driving and they got the safe behind them and it's swinging up and down the.
Oh yeah, that one's ridiculous.
That one's my
I think
favorite.
that's the one where they bring in The Rock.
Yes, that's the one they bring in the rock. Yeah.
I mean, I like
Whew.
that one. I
Big fan. Big
I
fan.
will I will always have a soft spot for Tokyo Drift because I think that's the one that me and said friend watched the most because he really liked the drifting.
Yes, yes, I do recall he really liked that movie,
He
like a
really
lot,
liked that
like a
one.
lot, like a lot, a lot.
And so we would end up watching it a lot.
He was a big fan. He was a big
Um,
fan of those movies.
but yeah, no, that's Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. What is my next thing?
I don't know. What is your next thing?
Ah, yes, my next thing is a movie called it's what if Keanu Reeves were a samurai and lived in Japan? It's a movie called 47 Ronin, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a movie that's about it's a fictionalized account taking place in a fictional version of Japan of the 47 Ronin, who were very real. A Ronin, for those of you who don't know, is a samurai who does not have a master. And they fought and defeated a particular Japanese warlord or emperor or whatever, who is the bad guy in this movie. And there are several characters in this movie who were based on real people, except for Keanu Reeves. And Keanu Reeves is discovered when he's a kid, and they are as a half white, half Japanese guy. I don't know if Keanu Reeves is actually Japanese. I think he's Hawaiian, hence the name Keanu. So he might be half Asian in real life, but I don't. He doesn't look half Asian to me, but I'm not the person to determine that. And so yeah, so the movie is about him. He grows up in this with this particular Japanese lord, and he falls in love with the daughter. And a rival Japanese lord shows up to try and marry her, played by you remember the 2021 Mortal Kombat?
Vaguely?
You know the guy who plays Raiden?
Yes, I think
Him.
so.
He's the bad guy in this. So he shows up and he's being souped up by a kitsune god, which is the fox god, and she's using her magic to help him take over Japan. And so he or she
Yeah,
basically
The Japanese really don't like foxes, even though they're
no.
adorable.
Um so they're gonna have this like friendly spar off or whatever with one of their samurais, and the fox lady knocks this guy out or kills him or whatever, and so they're like, what are we gonna do? We need to have someone step in. And so Keanu's like, I'll do it. I'll go in disguise and I'll do it. 6 foot tall. I googled this. 6 foot tall Keanu Reeves is going to try to go undercover disguised as this Japanese man. 6 foot tall Keanu Reeves. And so he starts to fight the guy. And then after like a few moments, like, wait a minute. He doesn't look like he's the right guy. And he's like, no shit! He's 6 foot tall Keanu Reeves. Um, and so then,
So, so you said a Ronin is a samurai, right?
yes.
So the real important question, and this is going to be plaguing me if I don't ask this, is why is The Last Ronin a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story where it's about ninjas called The Last Ronin?
Because whoever wrote it did not know or couldn't be bothered to learn what a Ronin is.
All right, I accept that.
Would be my guess. Or it's like maybe also a ninja who doesn't. Maybe it's a more broad term, but how it's described in this movie, it's really quite funny. There's so many sections where a narrator just it's one of those movies where you could tell in test screenings it was deemed confusing because there's a narrator who has been clumsily edited in to do a bunch of unnecessary exposition to explain the more confusing elements of what is happening with Keanu Reeves. So then Keanu Reeves gets busted, and the dad is forced to, well, he's going to be executed by the emperor, but he's told, he can, in order to preserve his honor, commit seppuku. And so he asked the head of his head samurai, who is Scorpion from that Mortal Kombat movie, same actor who plays Scorpion, and he helps him do the seppuku. And it turns out that was all a trick and a trap. So the emperor gives the Keanu Reeves love interest to the bad guy, and then it does a hard cut to a year later. And yeah, the rest of the movie that is the guy getting Keanu Reeves back and gathering all the 47 Ronin or whatever, and they go and they stop the evil bad guy. But there's a point where it's basically that they go to look for, I don't know what they were called, but they were effectively, it was that scene from Frozen where they see the trolls, and he was like, I was adopted, and he goes and there's these magical people who trained him and gave him magical powers, which allow him to, like, I don't know how else to describe it other than shadow step and, like, teleport and shit and do magical shit. And at the same time, Keanu Reeves will just disappear for, like, huge chunks of, like 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Will just disappear with no explanation, and it will try to pretend to be a historical epic with actual Japanese people. Like, every single one of the cast members in this is Japanese, except for Keanu. And it was really funny, because, like, when I watched it, when I put it on, it opens with the Keanu character as a kid. And I paused it to come out and tell you something. And then I said, I haven't gotten to the part where Keanu's in this, but I just feel like he's wrong for this. Sight unseen, I feel like he's wrong for this. And guess what, Jordan? He was. He was very wrong for this. Because while, yes, he looks phenomenal in an action sequence. Like, he does a bunch of kung fu in this, like a bunch of fighting with swords. That looks cool, and it's fun. But he can't act his way out of a paper bag. He's supposed to be doing...
That's not very nice.
He's supposed to be doing these peak emotionally vulnerable scenes with this woman, and they're all like this. I'm sad that you can't reciprocate how I feel. Your feelings. I have to give you away. I can't hold on to you. Because I need to let you go. That's just like that. Stone faced, and it's supposed to be this like really emotional moment, and you're like, Keanu, you can't do this. And it's after he's done this, like it's in that period just before John Wick where he's not really popular, like where people don't really like him, and everyone's like, so contemporarily this got savaged by critics. Critics hated this, and it is boring and not very interesting, and some of the action is okay. And is otherwise a nothing of a movie, but not the worst thing I watched this week.
So Keanu Reeves is actually he was born in Lebanon.
Really?
Interesting enough, he was born in Beirut, Lebanon.
Did you want to know if he was actually half Japanese?
Well, I was curious about his lineage. His American father is from Hawaii and is of Native Hawaiian. He is of Native Hawaiian, Chinese, English, and Portuguese descent.
Okay, so he is part Asian. He's not Japanese, but I mean Hawaiian. One could say that Hawaiian is Japanese adjacent. So I mean, yeah, with a name like Keanu, I knew there had to be Hawaiian in there because Keanu. I mean, come on.
But he's technically Canadian, apparently.
I feel like I knew that. Didn't he like?
But he wasn't born in Canada.
No, I think he grew up in Ontario or Toronto or something. I feel like
I'd have to read further into this, and it's a long, lengthy Wikipedia
but
page.
That's 47 Ronin.
But I was curious.
So he's not half Japanese, though. That's the point.
No, if anything, he's like a quarter Chinese.
It's funny because there is another second scene later on in the movie where once again him and several of the Ronin have to infiltrate the bad guy's base, and it's 4 Japanese guys and 6 foot tall Keanu Reeves, And it's like, could that possibly? And they all know him by name, and it's like something like Caleb or something. It's like Kai. His name's Kai. Could that? I wonder which one could be Kai. Could it be the 6 foot tall white guy? I don't know. It might be the guy on the left. I don't know. He's like a foot shorter. I don't.
No.
Nah.
You're reading too much into it, Justin. It's definitely the 6 foot Keanu Reeves.
He couldn't quite possibly be the 6 foot tall guy in the mask. I think it
No.
might be him.
No, don't be ignorant. You're ignorant.
You're being ignorant. Don't be ignorant.
You're being ignorant.
Don't
Don't be ignorant.
That's 47 Ronin.
Well, that leads us into, unless you have anything else to say.
I do not.
Going once, going twice. All right. We're gonna talk about a movie which I demand a sequel to, District 9.
Yeah, I demand a sequel as well. I mean, if you read the Wikipedia article on it, it's been in various stages of. At one point, he was gonna make it, and then it turned into a Halo movie, which never got made. And yeah, I think it's because Elysium did poorly, and it was like his third time out, and they've just never. I don't think they've ever really given him. And Chappie also didn't do well, so I think that may be why. But yes, there's so much about this movie I love.
I demand a District 10.
So much.
I want Christopher to come back. I want there to be a plan, like a War of the Worlds style. He comes back to save his people. I want him to find what's his name, the main guy from this one. I want the main guy from this one to be like, you know what? I've actually kind of accepted becoming a prod, and I want them to go off into the stars together and be best buddies.
Be best.
And then I want there to be a District 11 movie where they have a buddy cop movie where they're friends in the stars.
I like this movie. It's upsetting and violent and vile, and it's well made.
It shows the terribleness of humanity, and really, honestly, it is a great I don't know, metaphor or a great what have you of like allegory of just the worst qualities of humanity.
Yep.
Like if you took the prawns in this, I don't think they even have an actual name. But if you took the prawns in this and put in any other race.
Yeah.
Like
some might say it's a little on the nose, but
it works and it's awful.
I don't remember exactly what I said about this. You can find out what I said about this in our YouTube video.
But it's supposed to be in an alternate 1982.
Really?
Which that's what this says, which I didn't get.
I didn't get that it was supposed to be 1982.
Well, that's when the ship is supposed to have appeared, was in 1982.
No, the ship appears in 1982, but I think by the time
it's been like 20 years or something like that.
They've been around a while. But yeah, the idea that they're an aimless, hive-minded. They don't have a queen, and that's why they're just kind of aimless. Nope, I wish I could. I knew you were going to be talking about it too, and I meant to watch the video to remind myself what I said.
They sort of remind me in the way that they as a species work. They sort of remind me of the buggers from not Ready Player One. Ender's Game.
I was going to say starts with an E.
Ender's Game. That's what they kind of remind me of.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. But some of them also, although I think I saw a theory that like Christopher might be not like a queen, but like a leader. That's why he's more independent compared to the other one.
Apparently, the premise and title of District 9 were inspired by events in Cape Town's District 6 during the apartheid era. And so, this movie was
metaphor for racism, Jordan, but apartheid racism.
So well done. There's really nothing more that can be said other than I want District 10.
Make District 10. Do it.
Also, the parts where like his skin is coming off and like
the sequence where they're testing him is legit. I think it's because the camera changes and it becomes cold and clinical like that. Yeah. I will say I think I said the beginning of it being like a mockumentary, and then it just switching to a narrative is sort of like in terms of filmmaking kind of incoherent because it's like pick a style, and then it swaps back to being a mockumentary at the end. But yeah, when they show the security footage, it's so like dehumanizing that it's upsetting.
Interesting.
It's really
So,
upsetting.
interesting fact. The guy who plays Wickus, the main
Yes.
guy in this one, this was apparently his first time acting professionally in a feature film.
Yes, it was. He was friends with Neil Blomkamp, who made this. And they're both
With
South African.
friends with Copley,
Yeah.
friend of director Blomkamp.
They're friends.
Um, huh. Yeah, no. Sorry. But yeah, no. Long and short is I enjoy this movie. It's a fun one, and if you haven't watched it, what's wrong with you? Go
It's
watch it.
bloody and
Um,
gory, and it makes you think. It's everything a
how
movie should be.
we need to hashtag start a campaign. Hashtag I want District 10.
Hashtag be making District 10.
Hashtag District 10.
That it for District 9.
I mean, until they make District 10, yes.
My next one.
Hashtag make District 10.
It's based on a Stephen King novel. It's a movie starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson called 1408. And being that it's based on a Stephen King short story, sorry, not a novel, it's based on a short story. Obviously, your lead character is a...
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Say that all again.
Starring, it's based on a Stephen King short story, starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson. 1408. John Cusack plays a
Teenager, adult, kid,
profession.
therapist, 1908, clockmaker.
No, Stephen King novel, Stephen King story. What is every character in a Stephen King? They are a... What is Stephen King?
Author. He's an author. He writes a book.
He writes books, Jordan. He's a haunted
He's a jackal.
house.
A jackal? Is it a jackal? He's a jackal.
He's basically, Daphne in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, where she goes to haunted places and proves that they're not haunted, and then writes a book about it. That's what he does. He goes to different haunted house places, and then he stays there for the night, and he determines that they're haunted or not. And he discovers...
So he goes to all these places and just gets to stay there for free because nothing is haunted.
Nothing is haunted until he discovers at this particular hotel in the city where his wife is, or his ex-wife or wife or woman who he had a child with who died of... I don't know if there's...
Natural causes?
No, she had cancer.
I mean, cancer is technically natural.
No, I don't think it is. I think technically speaking, cancer is not natural. It doesn't occur naturally.
But it does.
It's an invasion. Anyway,
I mean,
I don't know enough about cancer.
I don't know.
I don't know enough about cancer to make any definitive statements. But anyway, he wants to stay at this hotel room, the 1408. But he shows up at the hotel, and they keep trying to tell him, no, you can't stay in this room. It's busy. It's full. And he's like, but I really want to. He's like, but you're not allowed to. He's like, but that makes me want to that much more. And so then his lawyer gets involved and is like, if you don't let him stay in this room, he's going to sue. So then they're like, all right. So then he shows up and they're like, we can't check you in until you talk to a manager. And then the manager is Samuel L. Jackson. And Samuel L. Jackson is like, everyone who stays in this room goes crazy and dies. And
no, like, Justin, I think what you mean to say is Michael Jackson was like, motherfucker, everybody who comes here goes fucking crazy.
I mean,
and is full of expletives and is incredibly aggressive.
I can't remember if he says any F words in this, but he's like, you can't stay in the room. If you do, you'll die. And he's like, well, how do you clean the room? He's like, we go there like 5 of us at a time, and we only go in there for like 10 minutes. And he's like, well, you're doing a real good job. You're laying it on super thick. Your bullshit almost sounds believable. And he's like, it's not bullshit. He's like, well, you're making it sound, real true, but I know that it's not true because ghosts aren't real. And so then he gives him a key to the room, and it's an old-timey key. And then he stays in the room, and then it just pretty much just becomes a generic, nothing, standard not very interesting, not very engaging haunted house movie where it's just him in a room being tortured by ghosts who keep making him see shit. There's a ghost which the room seems to be self-aware because at one point it phones him and is like, you can choose. You can either keep reliving these horrible moments, which is like his daughter dying of cancer, over and over again till you go mad, or you could kill yourself. And he's like, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, I mean, okay, it's your choice, but you could check it. No, they say you could check out the final way, is how they put it. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then eventually he starts to go mad. And then depending on the version of it you get, it's got multiple endings. So one ending is he like leaves the hotel. He goes back home and he visits the wife. Him and the wife reconcile, and then he starts to see like the people who work at the hotel in his life, and then he realizes he's still trapped in the hotel. So he sets the room on fire and destroys it, and then they rescue him as he's like nearly asphyxiated, and he goes back to the wife and they resolve. There's another ending where he sets the room on fire and he dies in the fire. And then there's a third one, and I don't remember what the third one is, but he lives in that one. So two of the endings he lives, but one of the endings he dies. And then it ends with
room is on fire.
It ends with Samuel L. Jackson being like, it's a good thing you burned this room because you destroyed the room, and now the room will never haunt anyone ever again. Good job, John Cusack. And just like the one thing about this movie, the biggest thing is both John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson feel too famous for this movie. Like, this feels like a low B-grade horror movie that you get nobodies to do, and it does all right because it costs you no money, because it all takes place in one room, and you get cheap actors. Why is John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson in this? They feel too expensive for this movie. Too pricey. Yeah, it's otherwise... I've seen it before. It's not very... Nothing. It's nothing. It's not very interesting. The revelations aren't very interesting. There's kind of a twist at the end where it seems like you think... Oh, yeah, that was one of the endings. Is the entire time he's talking to a tape recorder, and like he recorded the daughter talking to her, and obviously he says what happened to the wife, and the wife doesn't believe him, and then he plays her the tape recorder of the daughter, and then she believes him. And he's like, oh, it actually happened, and then that's how the movie ends. Do you have any questions, Jordan? About 1408.
Would you say that this room is on fire?
Oh, by the end of it, it was, yeah. It was spooky.
This room is on fire.
It's a perfect movie to lead into spooky seasons because it's a spooky... It's a spooky movie. You can watch better spooky, scary ghost movies.
Oh, it's a ghost. So scary.
It's not even the best, like, Stephen King ghost spook movie. It was alright. That's it. That's 1408.
Okay, well, Justin, I would like you to go back in time to 2009, to the year where I graduated from high school, and we watched a movie called The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
With John Travolta.
And Denzel Washington.
And Denzel.
Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Which, fun fact that I just learned, this is actually the third film adaptation of the novel of the same name.
I feel like I knew that. That sounds like a thing I knew.
So, there was a 1974 theatrical film and a 1998 television film.
This is the one where he's like the bad guy, but he's so charismatic that it's hard to dislike him, right?
John Travolta is, yes.
Yeah.
And Denzel Washington is just a train operator. And John Travolta takes a train full of people hostage, and he's trying to get money, and then you find out that, oh, he was a stockbroker, so he's actually also just trying to manipulate the stock market to make himself even more money, and he doesn't get away with it. He dies in the end.
He blows up in the train.
Nope.
No?
Gets shot by Denzel Washington.
Oh. Am I thinking of a different movie then?
You clearly are.
He's like, I know he made this, and I think it's From Paris with Love at the same time. So in both movies, he's bald and he has a goatee.
That makes sense. I like this movie.
I recall. To be fair though, I think I was slightly tipsy when I watched it the first time, and I don't think I've ever rewatched it.
That's fair. I liked this movie. Um, it's it's pretty peak 2000s.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very like 2005, 2007.
Like it comes from that age of that period of time where you had movies like Taken, you had this, you had like
Yes, absolutely. It is
probably
absolutely in that genre of like subgrade, C grade action movie that's all right.
yeah. Or there was another one that I was thinking
Definitely,
of.
definitely. I would compare this to Taken. That is what it reminds me of. Not in terms of
Or
like style, just genre.
Law Abiding Citizen is
Yeah,
another one, which it
yeah.
makes me think of. Like it's in that kind of style. This calls it American action thriller film. I guess technically it is, but
I suppose
it it
by
it just definitely it goes into that kind of umbrella,
I suppose
if you
by
will.
all technicalities, that's technically what it is.
I'm curious about the other two versions though. Like
Yeah.
to the point where maybe if we ever did numbers again, I'd have to go and check one of them out. Um, is that your clown nose? You're gonna put your clown nose on?
No.
Honk honk. Um, yeah, no, that's the taking
That's the
of
taking
Pelham.
of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
One, two, three. I don't think there's anything else really super interesting. I mean, it's a pretty basic movie where you have John Travolta is doing a lot of heavy lifting and Denzel Washington is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and
I forgot Denzel
it
Washington
really
was in that movie.
it
I
really
think
just
I'm
comes.
confusing it with From Paris with Love because I was like, wasn't Jonathan whatever in that? And they're like, no, no, that's From Paris with Love.
Denzel Washington's is the one in this one. But they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It really does come down to just them,
Them, them,
those two.
those two guys. Jordan, is that the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3?
That is the taking of Pelham. One, two, three.
So Jordan, this next movie upsets me. It upset me at the time when I very first watched it years and years ago. This is The Fourth Kind.
Also, apparently that was my last rapid fire.
Yes, this is my last one too. Jordan, it's a movie called The Fourth Kind.
Do you see dead people?
No, that's The Sixth Sense.
Oh,
This is The Fourth Kind for those of you who don't know. Okay. This movie upset me when it very first came out because it pretends to be real. That's the number one thing you need to know about it is it pretended to be real. So The Fourth Kind is an alien abduction movie. That's the short version. But The Fourth Kind in terms of alien abduction is it was like the first kind is you see stuff. The second kind is like you hear stuff. I can't remember what the third kind. I think it's like the third kind is you end up seeing it. Basically, it's differing levels of proof of aliens, and the fourth kind is abduction. And so this movie is
probing.
about pretty much this movie is about a particular psychiatrist who is investigating her husband's suicide that she claims is because of this owl that all of her patients all see this particular owl and she thinks it's all connected. And as the movie goes on, it looks like it's aliens, but it's really poorly shot and like there's like a lot of like I'm so startled. I'm so kind of found
Aliens.
footage, camera shaking. I'm pretty sure you've seen this movie. I'm pretty sure we watched this together. Maybe no, maybe I watched this by myself. But the whole concept of it is
What's it called?
The Fourth Kind.
Oh, no. You keep talking.
The basic premise of it is that, or the basic idea of it is that they claimed it was real. So at the beginning of the movie, the actress Mila Jovovich comes out and is like, "This, I'm playing Doctor, whatever, so and so," and interspliced in this movie is the real footage of what actually happened. And the movie originally ended with ending credits leading you to a website, and the whole thing is about how her
This sounds familiar.
her daughter inevitably gets abducted by the aliens, and it looks like you see that it is something, but the movie kind of wants to leave it ambiguous where she's doing this interview about what happened to her. The real Dr. Abigail, I think her name is Dr. Abigail something. She's being the quote unquote real version of her is being interviewed while she tells her story, and the parts with Mila Jovovich, the actress, and Elias Koteas, the actress, are presented as being reenactments, kind of similar to like a documentary or like a Fifth Estate or like Unsolved Mysteries, you know, like one of those where
Yeah.
the parts with the actors are portrayed as like reenactments, and the interviews, and it shows the quote unquote real footage of this stuff happening. So at one point, one of the guys like starts freaking out and floating in the air, and it intercuts between the fake footage and the real footage, and the real footage is like way more dramatic and way more like serious and like less I don't know how else to describe it, but it makes it seem more visceral and real, and it's real looking enough that I remember watching it at the time, walking out of it being like, is it real? That's not real. There's no way it was real. And everyone like having to be like, no, if it was real, it would make the news. Like, it's clearly not real. But like they tried to pretend it was real so hard that they ended up getting sued for it by like the town of Anchorage, Alaska, and the people who lived there ended up suing them and forcing them to admit that it wasn't real. But they tried to pretend it was real, and that's what bothers me about it, is that it's trying to pretend it's real. Like, that this is a real woman, that this really happened to her. And like, yeah,
So essentially they wars of the world it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was kind of similar to that. Yeah, and like, that's not to say that this was based on a true story, like a true story, not the alien abduction part of it, but like there was a series of like 8 people who were just randomly abducted from that part of Alaska and just disappeared, and the authorities.
I mean, yeah, in reality, it probably wasn't that aliens got them, like a
Yeah,
government got them to experiment.
it absolutely was not aliens. It was just some random serial killer murderer. But
Or
yeah,
or a government agency which wanted
or
to do, experiments on people that no one would
but yeah,
miss.
that's why I can't. It also because it's trying to pretend that it's real. The reenactment, not the reenactments, but the real footage is awful. It's the sound quality is bad. It's hard to understand. Like, there's points where they're playing this like garbled audio, and in terms of following the story of a movie, it's not very. It's difficult to follow and not very fun to watch, because so it's like there's points where it's like it keeps cutting back to the reenactments, which is fine, and then it cuts to the real stuff, and it's blowing out my speakers because it's all fuzzy and crackly because it's trying to look like handheld camcorder footage. So it's all like crumbly and crackly, and it sounds bad, and it's hard to see. And it's like, yeah, if this were a real documentary, sure, this would be compelling stuff. But as a movie, it would be a much better movie if you cut out the quote unquote real bits.
But then they couldn't quote
They couldn't claim it was real. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
exactly.
if it was just the Mila Jovovich parts, like Elias Koteas is really good in this. I love Elias Koteas. He's in a bunch of stuff you've seen, but the one you would know off by memory, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He is Casey Jones
Okay. In which one?
in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, he's in
Okay.
this. He's like not rival, a colleague of his. And at one point, the whole bit throughout this is she is and he is uncovering quote these memories from hypnotherapy. Like, they're hypnotizing them and they're making them relive these memories. But that, as a practice of retrieving memories, has been proven to be really ineffective and inaccurate if this is real. So it's not really. But then weird shit starts happening while they're doing this. Like I said, at one point she's doing the hypnotherapy on the one guy, and he's like freaking out and floating in the air, and like, yeah, they're describing weird things, and the music is really intense, and again, because it's trying to look real, it sounds and looks bad, and it would just be better if it was just the Mila Jovovich parts. Now, not to say that it would be great; it'd still probably be a bad movie, but yeah, it's doing that thing where it's trying to be a movie and indicate to you that the alien stuff is real and that it's actually happening, but also at the same time is doing this reenactment documentary kind of stuff where it wants to appear like maybe she's the one who did it. Maybe the aliens aren't real and she's just losing her mind. It's kind of trying to do that as well, and neither work. Uh,
Mm.
but it's just the trying to pretend it's real. I don't know that. I don't know why that bothers me. It feels, to be fair, Blair Witch Project did the same thing. It just feels skeezy. I don't know. Like,
Manipulative.
yeah, when you're promoting the movie, all right, for funsies, but then after the movie comes out, you go, no, 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 it's not real. It's not real. Aliens aren't
Yeah,
real.
I mean, I understand wanting to do things for promotion. Like, for example, spoiler alert for one of my later ones, 28 weeks later when they were promoting that on, there was some mountain, I don't remember exactly where. I'll give you that when we get to it. But they had basically, um, they put like a biohazard sign up on that mountain, like
Ah.
projected it on that mountain or whatever as
I
a
mean, you already mentioned it, but
promotion.
very famously, the War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
Like,
another example where people just thought that was
yeah,
real.
people just thought that was real. So, like, it does bring attention, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. Maybe it's because it kind of sort of got me a little bit. And to be fair, also, Paranormal Activity did the same thing. That movie tried to pretend to be real. It also ends with a plea to there's a few of them. There's one where it was like it ends with literally a link to a website. Go check out and it pretended to be real, and I was like, stupid. But anyway, that's the fourth kind.
Any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty.
All
Time for
right, all
us to
right, all
move
right.
on to have scenes. And my first have seen is a classic, comes from 1961.
It's real,
Um,
absolute classic.
I wasn't aware that it was based on a novel. Um, it's 101 Dalmatians.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, I've read the novel. It's the reason why I know that in the novel, Cruella de Vil has a husband who is described as being so emasculated that he took her name.
That's funny.
He's described as being like a
Um,
Weasley small little man who has no self esteem, which I
yeah,
cannot believe did not make it into the Disney movie.
the well, that's because in the movie, the henchman basically became the husband.
Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
Um, but
Because the henchmen were
yeah,
added
that
for the Disney version, like they don't.
the original novel is called The 101 Dalmatians. But yeah, no, this movie is a classic and it's
Absolute
great.
classic.
And I sort of forgot
Cruella de Vil.
that it
Cruella
mostly
de
takes place
Vil.
from the dog point of view. Like I kind of forgot that because I'm so used to the live action
Yeah,
ones
right. And the dogs don't
where
talk.
yeah, yeah. Um, but no, yeah, this one is very much like I like how the Pongo, the boy dog, is like, yeah, my pet. Like they refer to the humans as like
Right.
their pets and stuff like that, which I'm like, that's cute.
The
Um,
Midnight Howl.
the Midnight Howl is great. I also wasn't aware that there is a direct to sequel or direct to, I don't know, I think it was VHS at the
Yep.
time. Sequel to this one, which
Called
I
Spot.
didn't know.
It's about their son who doesn't have any spots.
Patch's London Adventure.
That's what it was. Patches. And then there's also a TV show.
I knew there was one. I didn't know there was two. There's
Oh,
two.
I knew there was one. I did not know there was two.
I remember 101 Dalmatians, the series that was ours in
Yeah, I
1997.
remember that.
But there's 101 Dalmatian Street, which came out in
For
2019.
some reason, Cruella de Vil is a recurring character on that show. She shows up quite often. It's very strange. And there's only, I don't think all of the 100 dogs, there's like a cast of like only like 3 or 4 characters.
For the one that we know, the series, yeah, I
Yeah.
think there was like a handful of them. I
Yeah.
think.
It's like they,
I just remember there's the one that had the really long ears, and I
yeah.
think it was a girl.
It's like something like they move to a farm. The humans are like major characters. The Anita is like a major character.
Something like that. But in terms of this movie though, it's short, it's sweet. It
Cruella de Vil.
had a budget of
Cruella de
3.6 to
Vil.
4 million and it has had a box office. I don't know if this is like concurrently over the years or if this is at the time, but it says here it had a box office of 303 million.
Oh wow. If she doesn't scare you. Wait. What
No,
year? What year is that?
well, hold on. It has a little four beside there. Cartoon top grossing animated features.
I want to find out. So how much money did you say it was?
Well, it's I don't know if this is like a it's collected this over the years since it's been out, or if this is what it made at the time. But it says here 303 million, and the movie came out in 1961. So it very easily could be that it's made 303 million since it came out.
I can believe it made that in 1961, adjusted for inflation. That would be $32 million today. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Um,
sense. But join Cruella, do you feel?
yeah.
Cruella,
So
if
apparently,
she
Pete,
doesn't scare you, no
the
evil thing
person
will.
who made the person who made the movie, um, he condensed some of its characters, which includes Cruella's husband and cat,
Yup.
as well as Cad Pig, the female runt of Pongo and Mrs. Puppies.
Oh, interesting.
Uh, he merged two Dalmatian mothers. The two nannies got merged into one. Yeah, there's a lot. Colonel's cat assistant was regendered from. I can see why they did this. From the female Pussy Willow,
Oh no.
into the male Sergeant Tibbs.
Sergeant Tits.
Considering no Tibbs. Um,
Tits.
the Huh. Yeah, no. Interesting. There was definitely changes made to make it past the censor, is what I'll say. Um, which I just am not surprised by. But I enjoy this movie. It's a classic. It's on Disney. If you like Disney, you like classics, you like dogs. I mean, this movie is part of why for years I wanted Dalmatians, and adults would constantly be like, "Yeah, they're not as friendly as
No, you
they are
don't.
in the cartoon, you
It's
know.
like
They can be real mean."
I want a Dalmatian. It's like, no, you don't. They suck. They're mean dogs.
They can be very mean and temperamental.
They can
But
be. You have to train them
that
really well. They're very smart and they get bored really easily.
that is it for 101 Dalmatians.
101 Dalmatians. All right.
Oh, I'm guessing that's where some of this budget or this box office comes from. Sorry. It was re-released theatrically in 1969, 1979, 1985, and 1991
That'll do it.
in theaters.
That will do it. That'll do it. So during my first half scene, uh, is a movie about. It's called 30 Minutes or Less, and it is about
Delivering pizzas? He's definitely just delivering pizzas, right? There's nothing else?
delivering a hot, fresh slice of getting
Of
bombed.
za? Of
Of
za?
za. He's getting your zas. No, it stars Jesse Eisenberg, stars Danny McBride, stars Aziz Ansari, and it stars Nick Swartzen. Ha! You thought I was gonna remember their names. And Jesse Eisenberg is a lazy, go do nothing, go nowhere guy who's just delivering pizzas, getting high, and playing video games all day. And Aziz Ansari is tired of his shit and is moving on with his life and is a teacher. And in the meantime, parallel across the city, Nick Swartzen and Danny McBride are friends. There's two dum-dums who have a militarily minded dad who wants them to grow up and get a job. And whilst at a strip club, Danny McBride gets the idea to kill the dad and get his inheritance. And so he, because through the advice of the stripper, hires Michael Pena, Louise from Ant-Man, but he's trying to be badass. And he needs to get $100,000, and they figure that in order to get 100 grand, they're going to kidnap some poor idiot and strap a bomb to their chest. And this movie, I used to like. And then hijinks ensue. I used to like this movie, and don't get me wrong, there's still parts of it that are funny. There's still lines that are hilarious. You had a bomb strapped to your chest, and the first thing you thought to do was to go to a school full of children. Show me my neck.
We're gonna go to the bank. Gonna get our face shot off.
Say code. Say code one more time. Say code one more time. Say code. Say one more time. Code. Okay. Time code. Contra code. Up down. AB select start. AB start.
I like that movie. I don't care what you say. I like that movie.
The worst part of it is, okay, just as a movie, okay, it didn't do well because apparently there was a case where, same story, gentleman, bomb strapped to their chest, was forced to rob a bank with the bomb on his chest. Exactly the same deal. Almost all the details are almost exactly the same. Except for the guy died in real life. Got blown up. No, I think he got shot by the FBI. But either way, he died. And they sued the movie because it was too close and they felt it was insensitive. And the people who made the movie insist that that's not true. And I don't know that I believe them. Because when you read the actual story, it is really eerily similar if it is not intentionally based on it. The worst part of it is Danny McBride and Nick Swartzen. They're I mean, we talked about it yesterday, so we're gonna do the subdued PG version of this, but they're really homophobic. Like, they just make a bunch of weird, unnecessary, not terribly funny homophobic jokes. There's so many moments where you can tell that Danny McBride said an improv and they didn't cut fast enough because he says a joke and then Nick Swartzen goes, all right then. And then the scene lasts for a beat longer than it should. Like, there's a bit early on when they're watching, I can't remember what they're watching. They're watching some movie, and then they just leap up and start, like humping the characters and telling them, like, just saying all this really homophobic stuff. It's really weird.
There's a scene where, there's the dude's face on the big screen or whatever, and Danny McBride is like, look, I'm fucking him in his mouth.
Right.
I'm fucking him in his mouth. Like, and it's just like,
what?
I don't get it.
Why are you that's not funny? It's not funny. I don't understand what's funny about that.
Is the joke supposed to be that, like, he's an immature idiot and like a moron?
Like,
and
he
the
makes
fact that
multiple references to getting slapped in the face with a dick. And do you want to get slapped in the face with a dick, Danny McBride? I'm not judging you, Danny McBride. If that's what you want, that's fine. You do you, son. You get slapped in the face all you want. But it's really clashing with this hyper masculine, and so they set up those two characters have, like, there's this, like, subplot of the Danny McBride character and the Nick Swartzen character. Like, Nick Swartzen or Danny McBride is becoming progressively more and more unhinged, and he keeps threatening to blow them up. And Nick Swartzen is becoming progressively more uncomfortable with the deal. He's like, we promised that it was just talk. We weren't going to actually hurt anyone. It's just a threat. But then it devolves to Danny McBride chasing him. Like, the notion that Danny McBride has gone too far never goes anywhere. It's never a subplot that's fulfilled or paid off in any way. It just ends with Danny McBride doing a chase and chasing them down the highway and then blowing him up with his own bomb. Like, it doesn't really go anywhere. Like, you could completely reduce those characters' roles, like, completely, and just have them be the bad guy. It's very strange. Like, it feels
like there's another version of this where like there's like a final scene where Danny McBride was like, you know what? I did go too far. My dad was always like hyper masculinity. I just wanted to impress him. I'm actually gay and I love you.
Or so it does. It does sort of feel like it is gonna, because there's a point at the end where Nick Swartzen, he takes a bullet, or he ends up killing Michael Pena and getting fighting with him, and he's like, you don't find out if he lived or not. You just see him on the ground, and like they have like not a warm, like they have like a moment, and it does feel like, yeah, maybe at one point it was going to turn out that they're gay, and that was the whole bit. Like, it seems to want to reflect the Aziz Ansari and Jesse Eisenberg's relationship and friendship, right?
Mm.
Where the movie is about them rediscovering why they're friends. It sort of feels like maybe they want to do something similar with the Danny McBride, Nick Masterson characters, but it either got cut out in a scripting and a pass on the script, or it got changed in editing or something. But like, yeah, the whole plot is based upon there's like two separate plots here. There's the Jesse Eisenberg gets stuck into robbing the bank, and Danny McBride's dad is a dick, and they're gonna kill him, and they're two idiots and two morons. They're like two completely different movies that don't mesh really all that well. But I won't lie and say they're on like the bit where they kidnap Jesse Eisenberg, and they've got the bomb strap, and they're explaining the bomb to him, and they show him how it works, and he's like, it's one of those.
I like that monkey. I don't even know you.
The joke is it's one of those moments where they add a bunch of swear words in the final version, and it's not nearly as funny as the trailer version, where he's like, yeah, I like that. I like that bear. I don't even know you. It's way funnier in the trailer. In the actual movie, I fucking love that bear. I don't fucking know you. It's like it's not as funny. It's just not as funny. Yeah, it's not to say I don't find the movie funny. It's just one of those things where, yeah, the more you point out how terrible Danny McBride is, and the more I have to consecutively watch his movies in a short kind of ish span of time, the more I'm like, yeah, man, he's so obnoxious and unlikable. Like,
he's just always the same. He's always the same.
I cannot think of a movie. Hey, maybe there's a lover of Danny McBride out there that can let me know. Name me a movie where he's a likable, pleasant character to watch and it's enjoyable. Like, I've never liked him in a thing. He's always the worst part of the Will Ferrell or the Seth Rogen thing he's in. Like, he's always the worst part in every single one. Like, there's never a moment where I'm like, oh man, this has been enhanced by. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. I believe he's the dad in Mitchell versus the Machines. Hold on, I'm gonna Google this. Because I believe that's the one thing I like him in.
But I would argue that that's not him. Like, you're not getting like any live action thing that he's in. He's just Danny McBride.
I'm pretty sure.
It's different when it's animated.
Yeah. The dad is So that's the only thing I like him in, and he's not. Yeah, you don't even see him. Anything live action, I've never liked him in anything live action. So if there's something he's good in live action, let me know, and I will watch it for this show. And I will tell you you're wrong.
I feel like next time we do pick an actor, you have to do Danny McBride.
Oh, yeah, probably right. That's gonna be tough. I'll look into it. I'll see if he has enough of a filmography that I can pull it off. That's it. That's 30 minutes or less, or your pizza's free.
All right. So before. My next one is 21 Jump Street, but before I get into the movie itself, you have obviously watched Zootopia.
I am familiar with it. Yes.
Yeah, and you know the main character's name is Officer Judy Hopps.
I didn't know that, yes.
I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be a reference to a character from 21 Jump Street.
The show or the movie?
The show.
Oh, I've never, ever watched that show. I just know that Johnny Depp is in it, and his movie is a bad representation of it. Yeah, and it takes place in Vancouver, or it was filmed in Vancouver.
There's a few cameos in this, one of which being Johnny Depp and Peter DeLuise. But there is another one which I didn't pick up on until this time around when I'm looking at I'm on the Wikipedia. I learn a lot when I go onto these Wikipedias. For one thing, I never realized that the main girl in that movie is Brie Larson.
Oh yeah, so it is, yeah.
Like, I never put that together. And this is the one where I wanted to mention it.
We shared, what does he say at the end? We shared whatever, man. Oh, what is it? When he's heartbroken, he's like, we had cupcakes, or...
anyways. There's a part where they get a car to make them look cool, right? And one of the police officers, it's a cameo role, but one of the police officer, so there's two. There's one who ends up being the lead, I don't remember if it's in this one or the next one, but he's like the leader of something.
21 Jump Street.
And no, that's Ice-T. Um, but he was the main guy from there. It is. Um, no, I've lost it. Anyways, he was the main guy from the original show. And then there's the police officer who
Wait, was the
gives
main
them the
guy
call.
not Johnny Depp?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, okay.
the girl, the police officer lady who gives them the car to make them look cool, who's played by Holly Robinson Pete, is Officer Judy Hoffs, and she is that character name. She is a character from the original show, who is now just a police officer in this movie.
I understand.
But I'm pretty sure that character is supposed to be the name anyway, is who Judy Hopps. I mean Judy Hoffs? Judy Hopps?
I
It's
mean,
literally it's literally Hoffs
I
and
mean,
Hops is just
the evidence presents
Hopps.
itself.
Um but anyways, this movie is apparently not at all similar to it's sort of a real Land of the Lost
Yeah. Oh, it's
situation
also
where
like Starsky and Hutch. It's that kind of. It's not really an adaptation of the show. It's more of a pastiche or an
very
homage,
yeah
very loosely.
very loosely, but basically, um, what's his name? Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum,
Channing
um,
Tatum's.
are really bad police officers, and so they end up getting sent to a revived program, 21 Jump Street, because they look like high schoolers, and so they end up going into high school, and then Jonah Hill ends up catching feelings for a high schooler, and it's weird
That's
because
weird.
she's in high school,
It's
and
okay.
they're
She's almost 18.
very
It's
much
fine.
they're very much adults. That doesn't make it okay.
It's fine.
But they're assigned there to prevent an outbreak of the drug, and then you have the PE teacher is the one who's putting out the drug, and you also have James Franco is there, and I like this movie.
Wait, James Franco? You mean Dave Franco?
Dave Franco. What did I say?
You said James Franco.
Oh, I meant the young one.
The Dave Franco, the brother.
Whichever one is the younger one.
Yes, and big spoiler, it turns out that Rob Riggle is a drug dealer.
Rob Riggle is a drug dealer.
It's got Ellie Kemper in there. She's the teacher.
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. It's funny. I know. I quite like that movie. Johnny Depp shows up at the end in a big cameo. I remember at the time I was like, oh, actually, that was kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
that.
Johnny.
Because he
Johnny
hated
Depp
21 Jump Street.
Johnny Depp and Peter DeLuise,
Yeah.
which they're both characters from the original, I guess.
Yes, they are. Yes. And the original was filmed in Vancouver.
I believe you.
There's scenes
I
in it where you can see the SkyTrain in the background.
Oh, of this movie?
No, of the original 21 Jump Street.
Oh, of the show, you mean?
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. I understand. I'm just looking to see. Oh, I guess I can tell you. So it had a budget of 42 to 54.7 million, and one guess. What did it make, Justin, at the box office?
$1 billion.
No, that's unreasonable. It was not that good of a movie. It made $201 million.
I mean, Jordan,
So
Avatar made $1 billion. This doesn't have to be
enough,
good to make $1 billion.
enough to. Yeah, but that tricked people into thinking that it was good because it had 3D technology. It manipulated people into getting itself $1 million. It doesn't deserve it. Wait, what? Oh. Oh, okay, I got it. Sorry, I'm just under the sequels and spin-off. It's got the 22 Jump Street, which obviously did get made, but then it also has 23 Jump Street, and I'm like, what? And it's like in December 2013, 23 Jump Street was announced to be in development. Commenting on the project, Tatum stated, "I don't know if that joke works 3 times, so we'll see." And then I guess there was gonna be, I think you've mentioned this before, but I guess there was gonna be a crossover between Men in Black and Jump Street.
Yes, there was. No, but not like the Will Smith Men in Black. It would have just been like, and I don't even know that that it was going to have Jonah Hill or Channing Tatum, but it definitely wasn't going to have Will Smith in it. But yes, that got revealed with this the Sony email
and
hack.
then it says here, in April 2015, a female-centered Jump Street film was announced to be in development. It was going to be called Jump Street Now for Her Pleasure.
All right.
Uh, and Tiffany Haddish was cast as the main star, while Zendaya and Aquafina were also in negotiation for roles.
All right.
That would have been interesting. And then I guess now the most recent thing, in July 2023, a spin-off of Jump Street featuring Molly Tracy, who I think was Brie Larson's character, was announced to be in development. So it is a enduring franchise. You can't say otherwise.
Better or for worse. Okay, so
That's it. That's all I have to say about 21 Jump Street.
my next one, I have to redact something I said to you yesterday. Where I'm reading this Wikipedia article, and I distinctly remember reading that Danny Boyle. Oh yeah, I'm talking about 28 days later. By the way, 28 days later, I distinctly remember when I read this Wikipedia article, him saying in it somewhere that he did not consider them zombies, and I misread.
Because they are definitely zombies.
Just he does not consider them zombies in the traditional sense. So
Okay, that's a fair statement.
this is what it says.
That I can get behind.
Rather, because he's like he conceived of this when he was watching obviously Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Resident. Oh yeah, Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Remember that for later. That's a thing. But yeah, when he watched it, he remembered how much he loves zombies, despite having not seen them in a while. And so, rather than being portraying zombies as supernatural beings that come from the dead, the film's rage virus was conceived as a biological contagion. Boyle and Garland intended the virus to amplify an inherent aspect of human nature, psychological aggression, depicting rage as uncontrollable viral force intrinsic to humanity rather than merely a physical infection. This was designed to serve as a metaphor for contemporary social rage, including road rage, air rage, and other everyday aggressive behavior. So this is, cases of mad cow disease and foot and mouth disease. This is my criticism of the movie. The victims or infected themselves are not thought out well, like in terms of their mechanics, because with regular zombies you get what they want. You get my big thing with this movie is I never understood what the infected wanted, and they kind of try to say, oh, they just kind of want to attack, like they just want to attack, but they have no physical imperative.
My understanding is basically, if we're getting into the nitty gritty of what the virus does.
Now, if you learn anything additionally in the next one, save it for now.
No, I'm more just talking in a general sense, because this doesn't really, that's not the point, in the second one.
Fair.
But my understanding of how what the virus does is basically, you ever heard the phrase "seeing red"?
Yes, that's what it does. But that doesn't. That's what they say it does in this movie. But it doesn't. They just come across as normal zombies. Like they.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Right?
They want to. But how the virus is described, like when initially the movie starts with they break the chimp out of the cage and the chimp attacks them. And it's like, oh, it just makes people angry. It makes them want to attack. And they say in voiceover, someone says at one point, oh, it just makes people want to attack whoever is not infected. But like, with regular zombies, you understand, the Walking Dead zombies, they want to eat you. Like, that's easy for you to understand as a motivation. I don't understand what they want. They have no biological they're not looking to eat you. And so you're like, well, okay. Eventually, and to be fair, that's a part of the play. Eventually, run into basically this movie is about Cillian Murphy, he is a bicycle messenger, and you see his penis a bunch. You wake up and just full frontal, there's Cillian Murphy's penis for some reason. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. And he wakes up and he runs into these two survivors, and he stays teamed up with the one of them. And they eventually run into Mad Eye Moody, who has a daughter, and they team up. And then they eventually run into Doctor Who, and he is in charge.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that one.
Yeah, Chris Eccleston, 8th Doctor Who. He is in this. He is in charge. Ninth Doctor Who. Sorry, Ninth Doctor Who. He's in charge of he's in charge of a contingent of soldiers, who, big spoiler, he has promised them sex slaves. Well, he just says women. The Wikipedia article described it as sex slaves. And so the back half of this movie stops being them versus zombies, if that's what we'll call them, zombies. It stops being them versus
infected.
zombies. Yeah, infected,
you want to call
whatever.
Infected.
It stops being that, and it starts being Die Hard, but Scarecrow from Batman versus Doctor Who. Like there's a big long sequence of like these soldiers, they have one of the infected chained up, and he wants to find out how they live, how long they live, and how, like, what do they eventually starve? Like, does the thing run? What happens basically? And so he breaks in, lets it go, and then it kills all of them. He just, like, at one point, one of them is like being like chased by one, and he just kind of casually walks away. And so I don't understand how there's a sequel to this, because this takes place in the UK. So that this infection has spread over the course of, also, like, I mean, sure, I do believe humans suck, but like total anarchy in 28 days, I like post-apocalyptic. It's a dystopia in 28 days. Just feels quick to me, but
no, that feels accurate.
They say that this infection, they bite you, it gets into your blood. They don't have to bite you, as long as it gets into your blood, and it kicks in instantly. So the UK is an island. Like, even if it wipes out the whole of the UK, which, like, obviously would be bad, it's gonna die off in the UK unless it causes them to live longer, unless it causes them to, like, do they eventually develop hunger? Like, do they eat stuff? Like, how do they live? Like, at a certain point, they'll just all starve to death. Like,
I have answers that come in the sequel.
Like, it's not like other infected bio whatever problem movies where it's like, oh, like, it's not like the Planet of the Apes where the guy gets on the plane and then he gets sick. And
not like it's airborne, or
yes,
it's not like
it's not airborne. So you can't get these things on a plane, because let's say a guy got bit and got on a plane, he would attack everyone on the plane, and then the plane would crash. So it's not getting to America.
Wow.
unless you, like, manage to bottle it and bring it and put it in a bottle. That's why I'm so fascinated. I don't understand how this thing has survived, because no matter where you put it, it can't travel by water, right? It can't get across the ocean, theoretically. So even if, again, unless you've managed to bottle and biomechanically release this in, like, a warhead, or like I don't understand how there's a 28. What is it, 28 weeks? I don't understand.
28 weeks later.
I can understand 28 weeks later, it still takes place in Britain and the UK, and I don't know how there's a third one, is what I'll say. I don't understand how there's a second. I understand how 28 weeks is really, like, this movie tries to pretend that 28 days is a long time, and it's really not. And so 28 weeks is not. It is a long time, but it's not really, grand scheme of things, that long of a time. So, like, I just believe, like, in 28 weeks, this virus would just die out naturally. What?
Sorry, my ear is itchy.
Oh, sorry. I thought you heard something, and you were like,
no, my ear is sore and tender, but it's also itchy, so I have to gingerly itch it.
But I don't understand how this virus wouldn't just naturally die out over time, because it happens. It's not. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not biologically advantageous the way it spreads. So you would think it would eventually. So I think I think I
Hold,
think I think
hold those
I think this
thoughts.
is a good spot to. I'm guessing because this is the last half scene. So you might as well just do 28 weeks later next.
That was the plan.
So how is there a sequel to this? Explain.
So,
Explain.
so, uh, how much do you care about spoilers?
I mean, I know that Killian Murphy is in it, and I know that. Okay, I will say I have seen part of it, but I was.
Killian Murphy?
Yeah,
Who's Killian
he's the
Murphy?
main guy. I'm pretty sure he's still in it.
He's not.
Is Killian Murphy not in the second one? Are you sure?
No. Maybe
Really?
he cameos, but no, he's not.
Huh.
He's not.
Interesting. I thought he was in it. Anyway, I just know that there's a bit where they like take out a bunch of the zombies with helicopter blades. They like spin it around on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
really
that
sick.
part.
It's
That
really cool
part's sick.
looking.
So to answer your question of how this virus survives, because you're right, 28 weeks later, it appears by all appearances that the virus has died out, and now the U.S. basically is bringing people back to the UK. So they set up this
Oh, okay.
safe zone kind of thing. Meanwhile, the way that the movie basically
Okay.
begins
You keep
is
talking because I need
um,
to know.
the way that the movie begins. You remember not Rasputin. Um, from Once Upon a Time. Magic comes with a price.
Oh, a Rumpelstiltskin.
That actor,
Oh, oh,
him,
really?
yeah, him and his wife are in Britain during the events of
Robert
the
Carlyle.
virus.
Oh, Rose
Yeah,
Byrne. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Okay.
um, he's in the he's in the Britain like during it, hiding in this house with a bunch of other people. And the movie starts with they let this little kid is pounding on the door because the I'm gonna call them zombies. The zombies are chasing him, and he's like, "Let me in, let me in." And so they do, and he's not infected or anything.
Interesting.
But then the zombies come in and break in, and Rumpelstiltskin, his wife goes upstairs to try and get the kid and save him. And Rumpelstiltskin abandons them
So
basically
he's the
and
main
runs
character
away.
of this.
Kind of him
Oh
and his
man, I
kids.
like I like Robert Carlyle. That actually makes me
He
kind of excited to watch this.
he is until a particular point in the movie when he then rapidly becomes not. But uh, so then he escapes basically, and we get a time jump to the 28 weeks later, um, where he is now coming back to Britain with his kids. And so there's the safe zone, but like you're not allowed to leave the safe zone. And like there's military and stuff everywhere. And so then his kids, he tells his kids about what happened, and then his kids want to go back to their house, and they do,
That
and they
seems.
find their mother, and it is a terrible idea.
I was just gonna say this sounds like a
Um,
bad idea.
it's a terrible
So
idea, but they're kids. Let me finish. Let me finish because
I
I'm
have
about to answer your
I
question.
have questions.
Um, I'm about to answer your question. One of your questions. They get there and they find their mother, who is like manic, but doesn't appear to be showing any of the signs of the infected. And so the army people show up and take the kids and her back, and they've got her strapped down and stuff. And they've got doctors looking at her, and they find she has a bite. She's been bitten, but she's not showing any of the symptoms of the infected. But she's been bitten, and her blood shows that she is infected. She's asymptomatic.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and so
A
then,
mutated asymptomatic. Okay, 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 okay,
so
okay.
then,
Yeah, okay.
so then, so then the
All right.
husband, who wants to see his wife, breaks protocol and goes and visits her and is like, "I'm so sorry for abandoning you. I'm so sorry for abandoning you." And they've said in this movie that one of the ways that the infection transfers is by saliva.
Ah,
So like if you get touched by their saliva at all, you very rapidly turn, and he kisses her and then turns
ah.
and the virus comes back. And so then the point of the movie is the one doctor wants to get the two kids, the kids of the mother who was asymptomatic. She wants to get them out of there because she thinks that they might hold the key to a cure. Which I'm like, I on the one hand I get, on the other hand, if you guys were efficient at taking out all of the infected in the first place and killing every one of them, you wouldn't need a cure anymore because the virus would be done.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but So then over the course of the movie, yeah, you have Hawkeye is also there.
Yes, Jeremy Renner's there.
And he's trying to help them all escape and everything. And it gets to the end of the movie and they're all dead except for the boy and the girl. And the boy has been bitten, but he's not transforming. And him and meanwhile, Jeremy Hawkeye has a friend who has a helicopter, and that's the one that you mentioned that he helicopters all the infected. And
That
the
was sick.
kids
I remember seeing that one bit. I was like, that's pretty sick. I won't lie.
the the kids end up the kids end up convincing him to let them on the helicopter and take them across the channel, and the kid's been bitten. And like the last thing that you see in the at the like the final moments of the movie is like in Paris, the virus has emerged, like the virus is there because obviously he was also asymptomatic and had been bitten,
Yeah,
and somehow he brought the virus across. And so I'm guessing that's what leads into the third one,
I'm
where now the
guessing.
virus
Yeah,
is everywhere.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the only way is biological mutation. I guess. Yeah, I am interested in in the third one. So none of the characters from the first movie are in in the second one.
Nope.
Huh. So it's just
Or
like
at least if they are, I didn't recognize any of
so
them.
it's just like a side story, like a side chat, just another story that takes place in that universe. So there really isn't
In that,
anything
in,
to
no,
spoil.
not really. Other than like kind of how the virus comes
Yeah,
back, I
because that was
guess
my number one
technically.
thing when I was watching this. I was like, how this virus's biological imperative doesn't make any sense and is underexplained. But I kept being like, but to be fair, maybe in later ones they go into it in more detail because I'm like, yeah, they don't have a biological imperative to stay alive and they're not dead, right? They just want to. So like, what happens when
They
there's
just
nowhere
want it.
around who's unaffected? They'll just die out.
My thing is like all they really need to solve the problem in my eyes is if they had like a single line where they were like, yeah, once the virus gets in you, like a virus, it wants to self-propagate and spread.
Yeah,
Like all they would have to do is have a single line like that where they're like, once you're infected by the virus
yeah.
wants to keep
Because
getting and going, and that's why they do what
again,
they're doing.
but the movie, the first one anyway, does it shows the zombies eating people, but I'm like, but it hasn't described them as having. It's just they're just biting them because they're savage. They're not biting them to eat them. They're just biting them to
Yeah,
bite them. So it's like
which is part of why it spreads is
yeah,
because of the saliva.
because of the bite. But it's like but they otherwise. So I'm curious to see yeah how on earth do these things survive for 28 years? Like even then, even if you're like okay they got to the U.S. is really big. Like the West
Well, I mean,
Coast could easily take
they're
out the
not,
East Coast.
they're not even in the U.S. right now. They're just in Main Street, Europe,
That's
which,
still huge. Like that you would just find the part where they're at and I don't like they would eventually die out because of it's
oh, I
because of
mean,
how
the
fast
thing
this thing
is
spreads. It would spread too quickly and eventually just peter out.
the thing that makes it unbelievable in my eyes, and the reason why I had I have a problem with this movie, and it's really my only problem is, as soon as like you were like 3 weeks in to the virus being out of control in Europe, they would get bombed to hell. They
Yeah,
would
for
get
sure.
nuked. They would get like taken out. There's no way this virus would survive.
No, they would firebomb the area that it's in, which is probably what they did with
Which they do in this movie. They do firebomb in this movie. Like
yeah
that is a measure that they take.
yeah
That is my one thing with this movie is it's like, yeah, they are very much I'm not gonna say efficient because ultimately it still gets
but
out of
that's
control.
obviously
But
why
like
they added the eight. Okay, sure, but also like to be fair, I'm saying this sight unseen, right? But like, did they not know that he got bitten?
the guy, the kid.
The mom and the kid,
Well, the mom they did, and they had her locked up, and they had her under
and Robert
lockdown,
Carlyle's
and
just an idiot.
he just broke in and was an idiot. He broke. That's where I say he broke
But they
procedure.
didn't know that the
The
kid got bit,
the kid they didn't know.
and
The
the
guy,
kid
the one
chose
guy,
just not to say anything.
pretty much, yeah.
All right. Because, like, yeah, the problem of the asymptomatic people, that does allow for the thing to
This is
spread.
here. This is what it says. Um, They're ambushed by Dawn, who kills Scarlet and bites Andy. Tammy shoots Dawn dead. Dawn is the dad.
Right.
As Andy runs away, becoming a carrier like Alice, Andy asks if he's now one of the infected, but Tammy reassures him that he is not, vowing to stick together. So really, it's the sister's fault. Uh, Tammy and Andy reach Wembley Stadium, where Flynn reluctantly flies them to France. 28 days later, a French voice is heard over the radio in Flynn's abandoned helicopter, requesting help. A group of infected people emerges from a Paris metro station, and it shows that it's spread to
Because, like,
mainland
yeah,
Europe.
if you see your friend get surrounded by a bunch of these things, and you're like, and he's all right, he hasn't turned into one of them, you're like, well, clearly there's something wrong with you. Like, you would be able to spot the asymptomatic people based on how these things attack. Like you said, it's not airborne, so it's not just something that you could just get randomly and discreetly.
or
You would
or
get it in a
waterborne,
bloody
or any version of
right.
the
You would get it in a bloody pile of corpses of things trying to kill you. So you would know, you would be like, oh yeah, 5 of them tried to bite you and you walked away from it. You're clearly asymptomatic. Like, you would know. So it feels really lazy. Like I say, there hasn't been
to be
much
fair.
thought put to how these things actually biologically work.
To be fair, the asymptomatic thing is something that is just learned in this one. They haven't had proper chance to really react to it or study
Yeah.
it.
I just
It's literally just discovered in this movie.
I once again don't understand how
And then like immediately things go to hell. So
I don't understand how there's a sequel. Like,
I don't
I
know.
full bore don't understand how there's a
Like
sequel.
I'm like, okay, in this one there's asymptomatic. I see how that makes a resurgence happens once.
Right?
Like I see how this one exists. They thoroughly explained and made it believable that this happens once.
Like,
You find out that there's an asymptomatic person, that you didn't know that that was a thing, and some idiot fucks it all up, and this outbreak happen like a second outbreak happens once. I don't see how that's 28 years later you're still dealing with
maybe
this.
28
Unless
months later.
unless in the 28 years later they have it where, like, yeah, this thing is mutated and it's airborne now.
Yeah,
That's the only
maybe
way. That's the only way it works.
it's like it's been fixed and this is no, yeah, I don't. Maybe the society has been temporarily fixed and it's about recollapse. Like,
Or the only other way that it works, in my opinion, is if and this would be so lazy. I don't know what the third one's about, but this would be so lazy.
I don't
Is
know.
if they have it where it's like it's 28 years later, it hasn't been seen in 28 years. Nobody remembers it. Population has been growing, and some crazy person looks back at history and is like, "Oh, this is a great culling device. It goes away in 28 days and doesn't stay around.
Maybe
It's a great way to reduce the population and then have it go away."
because,
And
like,
releases it.
let's say this thing dropped and even in New York, like, it spreads so fast and is so noticeable. It would maybe hit a few blocks and then you would just evacuate the city and then you would firebomb it. You would have guys
It
walking with
actually,
fire flamethrowers and firebomb the shit out of the people.
in a lot of ways, it reminds me of you remember that game, oh, what's it called, where you have like the blade for the arm and the claws, and Prototype? Not Prototype.
Prototype.
Is it Prototype?
Yeah, I think it's
That's
totally
what
prototype.
the disease in this reminds me of, where it's like it 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 spreads for like in the game, in the second one, I think, or the first one, the one guy uses it to like cull the population basically, and then the government comes in and like destroys everything, and that's what this makes me think of, where it's like it feels like a disease that would have been created in a lab to be unleashed on a population center and then be done 28 days later, and it's done. Like, it just,
Well,
if this was in the real world,
yeah,
I
it's
guess is
just
what I'm saying. It's a
I don't
manufactured drug that
believe
has a lifespan.
I don't believe that this would pass over. This would pass through America. Like, if it landed on the West Coast or the East Coast, even if it landed in the middle of America, they would just evacuate the city it was in, and then firebomb the hell out of it. Like, you don't even need to bomb it. Just send guys in with flamethrowers and shotguns, and like 130, 40 army guys, and make sure you watch each other's back and you prepare. Wouldn't be super, again, because of the speed that this thing develops. It's not like, again, it's not like The Walking Dead or a traditional zombie thing where they get bitten and they slowly turn into a zombie. This is like, no, they're immediately a zombie. So, like, there's no time for this thing to become sneaky. And again, unless it
Right,
somehow
but I
does
guess
in
I
the
guess
intervening years.
I guess one could also argue in terms of whether a country would be able to survive, it being so easy to transfer and
I
the
never
change
said any
happening so
country though. I
quick.
said America.
Okay, well, we'll talk America then. If you drop this in the center of, if you dropped one person in the center of New York, with how fast it spreads, it would be very hard for the government to get their feet under it before it was rapidly out of control.
Again, no, because of how fast it spreads and how violent the people are, and how police would notice that people were attacking people. Like
Sure,
you would get at
but
most half the city
but
before the
you
army was
gotta
there.
think if you're putting it if you're putting in a like a and
Also,
I guess
it's already been to the UK, so
I
you
was
know it
gonna say
exists.
I was gonna say if we're doing the version of this where it's after the UK, then they have some preparation. I'm kind of picturing a first run.
Even then, like if
It
you
it
dropped it
would
in like a major
it would
metropolitan city, it would not to say it wouldn't take out most of the city, but it's not getting across the country.
I don't know, man.
They would find out something happened in New York. They'd get guys out there quick enough, and they'd start evacuating pretty quickly, like pretty quickly. And yeah, you like I'm not saying it wouldn't take out a major part of the population. I'm just saying it wouldn't get
It's
the
the
whole country.
speed for me. It's the speed at which you change that makes
Yeah,
me go like it would be hard to keep that under control.
but no, but it wouldn't because
It would.
they die so easily.
Much like in this movie, you had one guy who got it, and then yes, they maybe die easily, but when you have enough of a thing, an overwhelming force can overpower.
No, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, sure, it could potentially take out most of New York. Like, I'm not saying that way. Again, I'm talking we're dropping it in a major city like New York. Like New York is a massive city, so it could maybe get half the city before the police are hearing, and then the police are in there with guns, and then the police are in there with SWAT. Like so much of America's police force is militarized. They have like high powered rifles and tanks and like weaponry
Yeah, I
that
just don't know that it would
that
be enough.
it would be enough to control it, and then for the
I
army
don't
to get
know.
there. Like the thing is, you just have to hold it off long enough for the army to get there. Like I say,
Yeah,
they've
with
got
how
tanks and
fast
armor.
But with how fast it spreads, okay, you have them like on Broadway holding back like a bubble kind of area, whatever, right? They're holding that while the rest of the virus is taking out every other person in New York and
But it has
and overwhelming them.
But again, because of how quick the thing that makes this the thing that it's the speed, because it has to pass by blood or saliva. The person has to bite. So okay, let's say one person drops in there and bites a person, right? That person will then bite another person, and yeah, you might get 10, 20, 30, even 100 people. But once 100 people start attacking, the cops are going to notice. And then the cops are so, if it was like a European country or like Japan, I'd be like, yeah, but because it's America,
And that's not
um,
even talking about the asymptomatic people.
well, you, that,
Who knows how
yeah,
many of them there
the
are?
wrinkle of the asymptomatic, but again, because of how violent change is, if this was a subtle virus and it had the potential to to pass. Now, if they
Especially
introduce
because
the
you
concept
don't
of asymptomatic passing it to asymptomatic, okay, sure, but this movie doesn't do that.
Well, especially because the thing that makes it is you're under the assumption that they only have to be bitten, but I know that they can transfer it by like saliva, for example. So like one of them spits on you, it gets in like on your face or something. You wipe it away, thinking you're good, and
Yeah,
then you
well, that's why I've
change
never said again. I've never
and
said it.
become
I could
asymptomatic.
believe it would take out Manhattan and the subsequent Bronx. I'm saying the army would know by that point. The American army would know, and they'd be there. Like it wouldn't make it if it started on the East Coast, it would never make it to the West Coast.
Probably, you're probably right, but it would take out a good chunk of
Oh,
America.
I would say depending on where it landed in
Yeah,
America,
that's
it
the big
really depends
question
on where. Because if
where
it
it
lands in like
lands.
Midwestern Texas, and then they got guns. They probably. The thing is, it's America. They've got guns. Every second, third person's got a gun. So like, it's gonna be kind of. It's gonna be the major thing with the first one is it takes place in. I assume the second one also takes place in the UK.
Yeah, it does.
They don't have guns, so
Not in the same prevalence.
not the same way. So I just don't think that. And to be fair, that the first movie at the very least is very much like, yeah, this isn't happening anywhere else. It's only happening here. They're very
Yeah, well,
clear about that.
that's the other big thing in this one is yeah, that's why America, like UK at the beginning of
They're
this,
so isolated.
UK, like it's been they much like you said would happen. The virus killed everyone. Like they're all gone.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point in this movie is the I think it's the UN or the UK US. No, it's NATO,
Oh
United
yeah,
States
NATO.
NATO. They established a safe zone in London and they're repopulating and bringing people back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the point. So yes, in this movie, it has only been on UK soil that this
So I
happened.
that
So
does that. I respect that. I respect that they're like, no, biologically this thing would just fizzle out eventually. Like I do like that. That is a nice touch. Yeah, I don't understand. Now
the only
even more I
the
don't
only reason
understand.
it comes back is because yeah, the wife was asymptomatic and survived all that time.
Even then I don't understand how there's a second one. The second one, there's no way the second one
No,
isn't
second
not
one I
second one. I
get.
mean not
Third
second one.
one.
I don't understand how there's a third one. I didn't understand how there was a second one coming out of the first one. Now coming out of the second one, I don't understand how there's a third one. Like I don't. It must be a commentary on COVID. That's the only explanation I have. Like it must be. It must be an explanation on that.
I can understand how there's I can understand how there's a third one based on how this one ends. I don't know how there's a third one that takes place 28 years
28
later.
months later would be much more believable to me.
Like it's just it's too far removed.
Yeah, where you're like,
Because
I
like
just
the way
don't get this.
the
Unless
way
the
that
virus mutates horribly.
yeah, because the way that this one ends, the virus is still existing, right? Like it's over in Paris now.
Yeah.
It's on mainland
But
Europe.
it's like
So
it's
like
gonna take out
I get
Paris and
I get how there's a sequel to that. I just don't understand the timing of
like
it.
yeah, it's gonna maybe take out some of France and maybe some Spain. But like by that point, America's just gonna drop a nuke and be done with it. Not a nuke, but you know what I mean. Like they're gonna drop a bomb or they're gonna get troops in there and they're gonna take care
You're
of it.
gonna firebomb them like they did in
Firebomb the
the
shit out of it.
yeah.
Like it's like yeah, we've lost some lives, but hey, this is still manageable. So yeah, I just don't. 28 months later would have been I would have been like, okay, 28 months I could see, but 28 years I don't understand how this is still a thing. Just again based on how this virus is established to working. Anyway, we've talked too long about 28 years and days later. Jordan, is that it for 28 years later?
I'm
Months,
gonna have to find
weeks,
a
28
reason
weeks
to
later.
watch. I'm gonna have to find a reason to watch 28 years later because I just even if it's just for me,
Yeah,
I have to know how there's a third
I
one.
have to know. I don't understand.
Especially because as I understand it, they're making a fourth one.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're making a fourth one. Yeah, this video is going to be called the 28 days later. I don't understand how there's two sequels. I mean, now I understand how there's one sequel, but definitely don't understand how there's two sequels. Jordan, is that it?
That is it for 28 weeks later.
Jordan, I'm going to give you the option. Should this episode end on a big, long, angry rant, or should it end on me talking about a movie I actually quite liked?
I think it should end on a positive note.
Okay. Everyone strap in for big, long, angry rant, because I watched one of the worst fucking movies I have ever watched in my life. A movie so horrendously terrible that it made me wonder if I ever liked this filmmaker's movies to begin with. It's one of the few times I've ever regretted picking a movie. It was agonizing. It was terrible. It was This Is 40. This Is 40 doesn't really have much of a plot, so you're not going to hear me describe a plot, but it's Paul Rudd, it's Leslie Mann, it's Leslie Mann's two daughters, and it's Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann are about to turn 40, or they are turning 40. It's unclear. I think the gag is supposed to be that Leslie Mann is 40, but she is telling people she's 30, 38, or 36, or the number changes throughout the movie. And it's written and directed by Judd Apatow, who is married to Leslie Mann. Leslie Mann is Judd Apatow's wife. And the two kids in the movie are his children. And so Paul Rudd in this movie is just Judd Apatow. And Jordan, tell me tell me if this is relatable to Jordan. Have you ever been working for the record label Sony and been like, you know what, this isn't working out for me, and my only viable option is to open my own record label? It's so relatable, isn't it? It's relatable.
Yes.
So relatable, Jordan. And
okay, yeah.
And
No, not at all.
Of,
but yes, okay.
So
sure,
much
yes.
of this dialogue is bad. It's horrible. Like, half the time, Paul Rudd stutters his way through his line reads. Like, he's just been told what the dialogue is prior to him yelling action. Like, he stutters through all of his lines. He steps on all of his own lines. It's all bad. All of the lines bad. The dialogue is horrible. At one point, there's a scene where Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann decide that they want the family to be closer together, so they take the electronics from the kids. They cut off the internet from the kids, so the daughters can't use the internet. And the oldest daughter, is like, why? It's not like I'm watching porn. And it's made all the weirder by the fact that her dad wrote that line for her. Dad, real dad, live dad, wrote that line for her and then went action and directed her to say it.
I mean, I feel like there are other things that could have been used instead of porn. Like, it's not like I'm watching like an
Fucking
R-rated
weird.
movie, Dad.
Like so much of this movie is just like, oh, this is a weirdly like a huge chunk of the movie is Judd Apatow's eldest daughter is obsessed with Lost. Like, she just wants to watch Lost. It's really... And so the final scene of the movie is her... Leslie Mann's dad is played by John Lithgow, who he's an estranged dad who got divorced by from Leslie Mann's mom when like she was a kid, so they haven't really spoken, and he has his own family, and like they're trying to reconnect, but he's trying to present this like perfect image, and it's not really. And so the final scene is... I apologize, I'm going to be jumping around a ton here, but the final scene of this movie is like they're watching the final episode of Lost, but he hasn't seen a single episode, and it's him and the youngest daughter. They're watching the last episode of Lost, and it's like, yeah, man, if you haven't seen the rest of that show, it's really meaningless. It's really kind of a meaningless moment. If you, oh, all right, okay, cool, that's cool. But there's so many, like at one point, Paul Rudd is like I'm Art Garfunkel in this relationship. He's like, I'm Art Garfunkel. And she's like, yeah, nobody wants to be Art Garfunkel. Everyone wants to be Simon. Shit, I can't remember his last name. But everyone wants to be the other guy. He's the talent. He wrote all this. He wrote all the music and He wrote all the songs and plays all the music. He's the best one. And it just feels like so many conversations. Like so much of this movie is just Leslie Mann and Paul Rudd fucking hate each other. And because Judd Apatow wrote it, and it's his wife, it just reads as like, oh yeah, Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann have had a bunch of domestic squabbles that clearly mean a lot to Judd Apatow that he's put into this script. Like they're just like horrible, terrible people. At one point, Leslie Mann discovers she's pregnant and just acts hormonal for the rest of the movie, and she, in the only scene that's funny in the entire movie, she yells at this kid who is trying to dirty text message the oldest daughter on the internet, and they spy on her and read her text messages, and she confronts this kid at school and just starts screaming at him, like just starts yelling at him unprovoked, and makes him cry, and he runs away, and Paul Rudd event shows up later at the school dropping off the kids, and it turns out the kid's mom is Melissa McCarthy, and it ends with Leslie Mann, Paul Rudd, and Melissa McCarthy in the principal's office, like talking about the kids or whatever, and she's like, they threatened my son, like she threatened to kick the shit out of him, and she did do that. And she's like, I never did that. And he said my kid should be locked up like an animal. He called my son an animal to his face, which he did. He did in the previous scene. He's like, your son's a fucking animal. He should be locked up in a cage in a zoo. And he just starts saying all this horrible shit about her son while her son is standing right there to her face. And he's like, you said all this horrible shit about my son. And he's like, no, I didn't. No,
What
no,
are you talking
what are we
about?
talking about? And then
I'm,
she
I'm,
flips
I'm,
out
I'm,
and she starts freaking out.
I'm gonna
And
gaslight the shit out of you. What are you
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
And there's all these moments where like there's this one bit where Leslie Mann and Paul Rudd are in bed, and Paul Rudd just cracks a fart out of nowhere, and Leslie Mann starts to laugh. She starts to crack, and you can tell that it was the only usable take, because then in the next moment she gets mad at him and they get into a big argument. And it's like it's so badly directed. It's badly directed. Like some of the jokes kind of funny, but like the dialogue is so much like you're like, people don't talk like this. Human beings never like there's Paul Rudd's dad, Albert Brooks. Also, he says somehow got his wife pregnant and has had 3 infant triplets who are all identical. And there's this running joke that he can't tell them apart. Like, and there's this running gag where he just says wildly inappropriate things to 3-year-olds. Like, none of which is funny. Yeah, like, there's a bit at the end where he's like, yeah, we cut their hair, so now we can tell them apart. And then he's like, here you are, Jason. He's like, I'm David, god damn it. And it's like, what? And so then there's this whole subplot of like Paul Rudd, he is in charge of a record label, and he's signing this really old band who turns out is a real band that I'd never heard of. He is signing them, and so his company is going bankrupt. So he's lying to Leslie Mann about like the state of their finances, and they might have to sell the house, even though she runs a very successful business, like with Megan Fox, who is selling stuff like crazy because she's hot. Like, that's literally a joke in this movie. Everyone does everything for her because she's hot. It's really stupid. And so then the whole movie culminates in their 40th birthday party, or one of their 40th birthday parties. And Leslie Mann gives like this toast about how she wants to go into this new era of their lives forgiving everybody. And the whole movie she's been getting mad at Paul Rudd for lending the dad money and not getting it back. And she's like, they get into this whole confrontation, and it gets revealed that she's pregnant. She's been hiding the fact that she's pregnant. And out of nowhere, and for seemingly no reason, Paul Rudd gets onto his bike, because there's a bit earlier where he rides his bike in a group of other guys. He gets on his bike and just starts riding it, and it like there's like he's riding it, and it keeps cutting back to John Lithgow and the 2 daughters watching Lost for some reason, because once again, that's a major scene in this movie. Major plot point in this movie is that they like Lost. And he all of a sudden crashes into this guy's car door, and the car door smashes, and he's on the ground, and she's like driving looking for him. She's like, I don't know where he is. I don't know where he went. And they're driving around looking for him. And just randomly the dad's there. Paul Rudd's dad is there with her, but that doesn't make any sense because she hates him, and they've never had a one-on-one conversation the whole movie. He's purely there so that, and he just rides for, there's no reason. He doesn't give a reason for why he ran away. He doesn't get, like, it's not like he's like getting on the bike and he's had this epiphany and he's gonna go retrieve something. He just gets on the bike for no reason. And yeah, he gets hit by the guy's car, and the guy's like, you're gonna pay for this. He's like, no, I'm not. And the guy like clocks him in the face, and he's a big fat guy, and Paul Rudd punches him in the stomach. And the guy just like shrugs him off and then clocks Paul Rudd in the stomach. Paul Rudd goes down right as Leslie Mann and the dad pull up. And this whole bit of him, and this is within like the last 10 minutes of the movie, this only happens so that the Leslie Mann and the dad can have this heart-to-heart in the hospital, and Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann can have this heart-to-heart in the hospital. It exists purely for that. Otherwise, it makes no sense. It comes completely out of left field. And the biggest thing about this movie is it's agonizingly long. It is painfully long. Scenes go on for fucking ever. There's so many points, like there's so many scenes that are meaningless. They have no point. They service nothing. They don't service the plot. They don't service a joke. They don't service anything. They just happen. Like there's a bit where for some random reason, it's a clearly, oh, this is a thing that Judd Apatow and his family does. So there's a bit where they're all, for some reason, like laying in bed in their pajamas watching SpongeBob. Randomly. They're all just, the whole family just in bed just watching SpongeBob, and then there's a big confrontation. The older daughter says an F word and storms off. But like it serves nothing. Like there's so many scenes where it's just Paul Rudd like reacting to something, and there's so many scenes that just go on forever where you're like, oh my god, Judd, cut. For the love of God, cut. You can cut. Whoever is your editor hates you. So much of this should be cut out. This movie could be 40 minutes shorter. This movie should be an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours. The fact that it's 2 hours and 70 minutes is atrocious. It's awful. It's terrible. Like, I remember liking this guy's movies. It was like none of the people talked like people. Like, no one has these conversations. Man. I'm flashing back to last night. I was so angry. I came out. You can attest. I came out. I was so angry.
It's true. He was.
I was
very angry.
A steamy hot potato. I was like, I fucking hate this movie so much. It's one of the worst things I have ever watched. It was agonizing. It was terrible. And I liked Knocked Up. I liked Superbad. I like Funny People. I'm gonna have to do a pick a director where I do Judd Apatow and I watch Funny People and I remind myself that I like his movies. Because my God, I fucking hated this so much, Jordan. So much. Have I adequately conveyed how much I fucking hated this?
I think you have.
Good. That's it. This is 40. It fucking sucked. It's going to be a video. It's probably going to be Monday's video. I'm not even going to lie to you. You're probably currently watching this on Monday. Because that's how much I fucking hated this movie. That's it. I'm done.
All right.
Rant over.
Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip?
Okay.
I watched 8 Mile.
8 Mile is better. I think I said this the first. I've definitely talked about this movie on the show before. It is better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, I mean,
it is better than it has any. I think it. I don't know if it got. I know he won for best song, but I don't know if it got nominated for anything else.
Eminem is. I mean, I think there is another world, another universe, another reality where he is at least a solid B-list actor.
Yeah, decent. He has a decent acting career. Yeah, for sure. It's what's really funny is he insists this movie is not autobiographical, which I don't know that I believe, but
I mean, what it says here is it contains autobiographical elements.
He insists it is not autobiographical, but
okay, press X to doubt.
Yeah, press X to doubt. Press X to doubt that one, that's for sure.
But so I mean, it did well. It had a budget.
It absolutely did well.
It had a budget of $41 million.
He had opportunities to act. He just turned them all down. Like that's how successful this was.
Do you want to guess what the box office was?
I mean, it's probably a small. It's $1 million, probably. Or box office. I mean, or budget.
It had a budget of $41 million.
Really, $41 million. All of that had to have gone to Eminem.
I mean, probably it probably went to his music.
Yeah, that had to be.
But do you want to guess what the box office was?
I'm guessing 100 million.
242.9 million.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Solid hit. Yeah. I mean, I love this. There's so much about this movie I love. There's so many scenes. I mean, the ending rap battles. Did you recognize a young Anthony Mackie?
I did.
You're like, hey, it's Captain America.
It took me a bit, but I was like, is that who I think it is? And then I was like, it is who I think it is.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, holy shit, I forgot Anthony Mackie's in this.
The thing that was funny for me.
See, because so many jokes I made about this that you now appreciate because you've seen this movie.
I had never watched this before this, but I had seen parts of it because Robot Chicken literally has scenes like as Bugs Bunny and stuff that are just shot for shot.
Making fun of the rap battles at the end is the best scene. It's my favorite scene in the whole movie. All the raps are good. It's really funny that there's a line he has in this that he took. Or I'm pretty sure he took it from a movie because there's an old movie I watched. Like, oh, I can't remember what it was. Oh no, it was he took it from American Graffiti. I swear he took it. It's hey, I think you were a little hard on the beaver, but then again, so is Miss Hackett, Wally, and Cleaver. That joke was in American Graffiti. So I'm positive he took it from American Graffiti. But I love all of that.
I could believe it. What I appreciate, I don't know how to say this exact or how to put this into words. Um, like in the movie, he's considered white trash, and he lives in the ghetto,
Yeah.
and he has friends that are ghetto. But I appreciate that they're not
They're not stereotypes.
stereotyped.
No,
I guess is
like
is
they're
the way I would put
varying
it.
degrees of stereotypes. But yeah, he's got that one friend. He's like, I don't want to. I will not like question a person's blackness. But yeah, he definitely comes across a bit more Andre the Black Nerd and a little. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
don't know.
definitely I stand by it. I don't understand why they're friends with Cheddar Bob.
I mean, I
I
do
stand
because
by that joke. I stand by it. I don't get it.
because
Now you
he's
get the
he,
joke.
I do only because he's the sycophant. You keep him around because he makes you feel good about
he
yourself.
I will say the most unrealistic part of this movie, again, I still stand by it, is they don't say the N-word nearly enough.
I mean, they say it enough. They say it quite a bit.
See, I remember them. There was like, oh, it feels like they would say, or maybe I said he doesn't say the
Apparently,
N-word nearly enough. He feels like the kind of guy who feels like he could get away
okay,
with saying the
that's
N-word.
fair, but also I just don't think that he would.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean the person. Like, I don't think he would.
I mean, hey, yeah, maybe. He struck me as the kind of guy who would feel a little too like he would say it while rapping, and then they would pause it and be like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Like he gives me that vibe.
No, he gives me the
Like he's
he
not
would say
saying
it
it
during
maliciously. He's saying it because he thinks he can.
he gives me the he would say it during rapping, and it's Peter Griffin. They respected me because I had the courage to say it
I
scenario.
could believe it. I could believe it. He gets a lot of
Um,
respect post shooting himself in the foot.
I didn't realize that this had cameos though. This movie has multiple cameos, including Brandon T. Jack. The names mean nothing to me, but I assume they mean something to people. Brandon T. Jackson, Proof,
Yeah.
Obi Trice,
Obi Trice, no
Najeri
name, no.
Earth,
Proof is
and
he was part of D12.
XZIBIT. Exhibit.
Exhibit. He hosted Pimp My Ride. The other thing I remember about this movie was that it seems to imply that he's writing Lose Yourself throughout the movie because it keeps playing the music from it and showing him writing the lyrics, and you're expecting him. I still maintain there's an alternate ending where he sings Lose Yourself because it seems to imply that he's writing this big song that
Huh.
you never hear. Am I wrong?
So interestingly, I mean, no, yeah, it definitely comes across to me like over the course of the movie, he's writing "Lose Yourself," and then the end credits are supposed to be him finally finishing the song and
But you never
singing it.
see it. It always feels like there
But
was a
you
scene
don't
where you
see it.
maybe
But
see him
that's
like. I do appreciate that it doesn't end with him like getting a record deal or like
he
becoming a
just
mass.
walks off.
He just goes back to work. He's like, well, day continues on. It's another day. I like that. It's a nice. It's real. It makes it feel real. It makes him feel like a real
So
person.
so an interesting thing,
R.I.P. Brittany Murphy.
which I mean, this would have Eminem turned down roles for both Training Day and The Fast and the Furious in order to star in this movie.
Really?
So I don't know who he would have been in Fast and the Furious. Would he have been Paul Walker's character?
I don't know.
Would he have been Vin Diesel's
So,
character?
but they maintain this wasn't written for him. But there's no way it wasn't written for him. There's no way it wasn't. It had to have been written for him.
According to Hansen said Eminem was involved in 8 Mile from the project's inception.
Yeah.
As writer Scott Silver developed the script with him in mind.
Yeah. He's insisted it's not. It's not in any way. And I'm just like, I just press X to doubt.
Also, apparently, Cheddar Bob, Seth Rogen, and Jason Segel both auditioned for Cheddar Bob.
I would totally. I know. I don't imagine. Really, that's funny. I don't imagine he would ever make this. But here's my pitch for a sequel. And I just don't think she'd go for it. But here's my pitch for a sequel.
Also,
Um,
apparently in the movie, music producer Damiza revealed that Eminem originally asked Mariah Carey to play the role of Stephanie Smith. Carey turned down the role, which was eventually played by Kim Basinger.
oh, interesting. She's really quite good. Now, here's my pitch. It's you make a sequel. It's about his daughter. Bringing his daughter, and she wants to be a big time rapper, and he has to like support her, and it's a father daughter movie, and have his daughter play the
I
daughter.
mean, I'd watch that. I don't know if I would necessarily make it a sequel to 8 Mile. I'd maybe just make it its own
He
movie,
has to do
but
he has to get back in he has to get back in the game, and he has to do a big rap at the end. He hasn't done a big rap in years, and she's like, I'm a small time rapper, Dad, and you have a chance to become a big time rapper like you always wanted to, Dad. And he does a big time rap, and he has to rediscover his love with the game.
so like a Rocky, but with
But with
rapping.
rapping, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be a sequel to this, but I just kind of like it where he's now James. He's not Jimmy the Rabbit anymore. He's just James, whatever his last name is.
James the Hair.
And he's like, Dad, you need to become Jimmy the Rabbit again. We need to bring Jimmy, and then you can bring all the guys back. You can have Cheddar Bob come back. It could be a real who's who of who's in 8 Mile.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be down for that. This movie was good and I enjoyed it.
I'm
So,
not gonna lie to you. That was completely off the top of my head. Like that was by the seat of my pants. Hollywood, call me.
I should be writing for
I should
Hollywood.
be
I'm
writing
just
movies.
saying.
I should be writing movies. I maintain that. Jordan, is that
Or at
for?
least I should be the idea guy.
I definitely want to be the guy who gives
You
other
you you
people
have me
ideas,
you have me sit in the corner and give you ideas and you pay me like a decent
and
sum.
then
And
you
then
turn it into like, readable dialogue. I just can't write
yeah, the
dialogue.
other the other person can do the
I'm
writing, but
great at coming up with
I'm
story
the
beats and ideas.
I'm the idea guy. I help you. I'm your guy that you go to where you're like, okay, I'd like you to read through this and like give me some notes. I'm your note taker. Like
Yeah, I've been
I give you feedback.
I've been doing this long enough that I can definitely like give you story beats. For me, it's like the
It's
actual
dialogue.
people. It's just dialogue. I just don't know how to write dialogue that doesn't make me cringe. Anyway, is that 8 Mile, Jordan?
That is 8 Mile. Yo yo yo.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. The best version of Lose Yourself, by the way, is there's a
Yourself.
version he performed at the Grand. I think it was the year he was. I think it was the year he performed it at the Academy Awards when he was. But anyway, there's a particular performance where he has a backing band that has a guitar, and it sounds phenomenal. I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you later. It's like easily the best performance of that song.
And he puts it here, and we get flagged by YouTube.
Is this a YouTube video? I haven't decided if this is YouTube. Yeah, it probably is a YouTube video. I might combine it together with the last time I did, or you might have already seen the last time I talked about 8 Mile, although probably not because I think I said all the same jokes here. So, anyway, my final thing. My final thing
It's
of
the
the week.
final brain cell.
My final thing is a movie called. Okay, here's the fun story. Oh, I meant to mention with. Oh shit, I forgot to mention it. I'll mention it here. I had the choice between This Is 40 and a Russian adaptation of 1984, and I opted for This Is 40, and I questioned whether or not I made the right choice. But I always knew I wanted to do 10 Things I Hate About You, because 10 Things I Hate About You is a adaptation of training. Oh my god, Freudian slip. Taming of the Shrew. The Shakespeare play Taming of the Shrew. Which, if you're unfamiliar with Taming of the Shrew, it's basically there is a young woman who is, if you don't know what a shrew is a awful, unpleasant, nobody likes her woman. A Karen would be a shrew, yeah. No, because a Karen can be married. Shrews are typically unmarried, unwedded. But
I'm just talking.
You can be
talking in terms
shrew-ish,
of.
yeah.
I'm just talking in terms of personality.
Yeah, in terms of personality type, yeah. And she wants nothing to do with any guy ever. And her father, in the original version, Baptista, has very strict dating rules. And there are several suitors who want Katerina, or Kate, younger sister Bianca. They want her. And in order to get her, they need to marry off Katerina to who will take her, and that turns out to be a fellow by the name of Petruchio, and they, I think, fall in love. I've never actually read or watched the original Taming of the Shrew. This is where I come into this. I did a production of it called Training of the Shrew, which was about boxing and had a different ending. So this is the same sort of basic framework. So you've got Kate, who is a teenage girl. She's an awful shrew of a girl. Everyone hates her. They literally call her a shrew. And then you've got she's got a younger sister, Bianca, and I don't know if you remember from our version of it, Bentivoli, Vincenzo Bentivoli. He's a different. He's got a different name, but he's basically Joseph Gordon-Levitt is that character. Where he in the play, in our version of it, he pretends to be like he disguises himself as a yoga instructor, whereas in this he pretends to be her French tutor. And so he and his sidekick convince this movie's version of Petruchio, played by Heath Ledger, to take they initially convince this other guy to pay Heath Ledger to take out this girl, because in this version the dad says that because he knows that Kate is unpleasant and nobody likes her, because she's that type of girl who's like makes everything a weird bummer, like where she's like, oh, the world's slowly spinning and we're all slowly dying and everything's a weird like existential bummer kind of person. She's like that, so she's just no fun to be around. And so Joseph Gordon-Levitt convince this popular guy who in the Training of the Shrew, I think is Bianca, or is the Amazonian princess or Amazonian warrior chick. I think that's who it's supposed to be. But anyway, they convince Heath Ledger to take her out, and it's Taming of the Shrew. They have a back and forth. She doesn't like him at first. They slowly develop feelings for each other. It's really cute and funny, and I enjoyed it. Heath Ledger is very charming. Like, he just is very charming. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is delightful. And I think it's because I know, because I did Training of the Shrew, I did a lot of research, and I watched Taming of the Shrew a little bit. So, like, I'm familiar with it. So there's references in it I obviously get. So, like, I'm like, okay, here's his Petruchio. Oh, he doesn't really have a Grumio. Oh, this is Hortensio. This is Carrot. And, like, there's lots of fun references. The Heath Ledger character's last name is Verona, which is where Petruchio is from. He's from Verona.
My fair Verona.
The school is the name of the town. The name of the school is the name of the Italian city that Taming of the Shrew takes place in. There's a point where they're studying Shakespeare in school, and I'm like, wait, they're studying Shakespeare. So did you think at any point one of them was like, you know what? Does anyone notice how our current situation that we're going through bears an odd resemblance to the
Taming of the Shrew?
Taming of the Shrew? No, it's just a coincidence.
No, because in this world that story doesn't exist.
That story doesn't exist.
All the other ones exist, but that one doesn't.
But there's a really funny, there's a running joke of the Kate likes a particular band, and so Heath Ledger gets them to perform at prom, and the movie ends with them playing a certain, I can't remember the name of the song. I'm blanking on the name of the song because I'm on a podcast. I'm blanking. But they play I Want You to Want Me. That's what it is. I want you to want me. The movie ends like everyone happy ending. All the couples who you want to get together, and the credits is just this band who I think I'm supposed to recognize, but I didn't. Playing I Want You to Want Me on the roof of the school. And that's the entire ending credits. And then the rest of the credits is bloopers. It's very strange. It was like, this is weird. Another thing I learned from watching this movie.
Probably some famous band that you're supposed to know.
That I'm supposed to recognize. Yeah, I'm sure. Someone's going to come into the comments and be like, Justin, you should know who this band is. What year do you think 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies came out?
19.
Really?
19. Hold on. When did Digimon come out?
Pretty sure Digimon came out 2001.
I'm gonna guess 1996.
Wow! Wow! Fascinating. 98. You're close.
Damn, it's
You're
close.
close. I thought it came out 2000. So this movie came out
I
1990.
I knew that that one anyways. I'm pretty sure that song in particular was in Digimon the movie, and so I was like, it would have had to be out before, like far enough before that people would have heard it for it
Enough
to
to
be
reckon
popular enough to
for it to be
be
a
in the movie.
recognizable needle drop. No, that's totally fair. That's fair. I thought it came out in 2000. I thought it came out in the year 2000. So I was like, this movie's 1999. I looked up. Yeah, it came out in 1998. I'm like, really? It's that old? Wow.
Damn, I was so close.
There's a couple of references. There's a couple of musical references where you're like, this is really 1999. What was it? Oh, there's a particular thing she's watching. Oh, she's watching The Real World. That's what it was. She's watching The Real World. I'm like, this is really 1999 2000. Like really
The one,
1999
the
2000.
Paris Hilton one.
No. The Real World. You're thinking of The Simple Life. The Real World was it was like, remember The Surreal Life?
Is that the one with Paris Hilton?
No. The Simple Life. The show with Paris Hilton is The Simple Life. That was the one where she was with Nicole Brown. The Real World was basically like, from what I remember, it was just a bunch of people in a house. It was kind of like Big Brother.
I don't think I watched that.
But so The Surreal Life was a similar concept, but it was celebrities instead of it was like B-rated celebrities. There's one season where it was like Ron Jeremy and Vern Troyer. I think Vern Troyer was there the whole time. There's one of them where there's one of them that had what's his name? Gary Coleman. And there's one of the episodes where they go to a bar and someone keeps trying to get him to say, "What are you talking about, Willis?" And he gets really pissed off and storms off and walks off the show. And he's only in like 2 episodes of it. It's
and this is in the movie?
No. That's just The Surreal Life is what The Real World is like. It's just people living in a house. It's like Big Brother without the element of voting people out, basically.
Got it.
It's just most 1999 movie of all time. It was delightful. I enjoyed it. It was quite nice after watching This Is 40, which fucking made me. Oh my! See, I'm remembering all the other. There's a point in remember how it was like the extraneous, unnecessary scenes in This Is 40. One of the scenes is, for some reason, one of the daughters starts playing the theme to The Office on the piano, randomly. And unprompted, just like bum bum ba bum bum ba.
I mean, it was popular then.
It was weird. It was a useless scene. But no, 10 Things I Hate About You. I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Justin, we're beyond that movie, Justin.
I'm not. I have not moved on. I'm still angry about it. I'm still pissed off. I will be pissed off until I start to talk about our next topic. That's the end. That's the end of the 10 things. Jake said I would enjoy it, and he was right. It was delightful. It made me sad that Heath Ledger died, because I was like, man, he's so charismatic. It also made me kind of want to watch A Knight's Tale.
That's fair.
Because he's in that movie, and he's really good in it. And
I understand.
I can't commit to wanting to watch Brokeback Mountain, but I've never seen it.
I also have never seen that one.
I've never seen it.
For good reason.
Is it because of the cowboy sex?
I mean, it was mostly just because there's nothing in there to interest me, but yes, that is part of it.
I mean, if cowboys want to go off and have illicit sex,
and all the power to them.
That's their prerogative. Anyway, I think you all know, or maybe you don't know, now you know I'm telling you, it's October. You know what October means. It means vaguely and adjacently Halloween-related topics that could be considered Halloween, but might not necessarily be completely Halloween.
Ooh!
It doesn't fit on a T-shirt as nicely as but we're bringing it back. We're bringing back Spooky of the Moment.
Ooh!
We're bringing back Spooky Jordan. Spooky Jordan, for those of you who weren't here last year, he's just regular Jordan, but occasionally he goes woo.
Woo!
But this year, I'm hoping to do different topics than we did last year. Then we might do some similar topics, but they're going to be mostly different. And to start off that, we're going to do, because I want to watch Marvel Zombies. We're doing zombies, people. Zombie stuff. We started off this week with 28 Days Later. We're going to continue it next week. I want to watch Marvel Zombies, so I'm gonna start that today probably. I'm gonna watch Marvel Zombies. So, and there's other stuff, but it's zombies next week. Zombies, very excited about that. Spooky of the Moment podcast. I'm probably not changing the title. I went through all the effort last week to create its own separate, last year to create its own separate miniseries. No one went for it. If people want me to do that, I'll do it. But we're just soft branding. So on the show, it's the Spooky of the Moment, but the actual branding's not changing. I cannot commit to 4 weeks of 4 separate Halloween related backgrounds and changing all the stuff. I'm not doing it.
I mean, not when nobody cares.
Maybe next year when we're at 400 subscribers. Oh, you know what? I want to wrap. So zombies next week.
Or if the audience comes into our comment section and demands it,
absolutely demands it, then we will.
Then you might twist his arm.
Nobody's at the end. Nobody sticks around completely to the end. But we are at 260 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has joined on. Thank you, everybody. We're excited to have you. We're excited to have you here. We're very excited. But it means at 260, we haven't done an on-air chant for 260.
260.
Oh, we went for different. Okay, we'll do the same one. 260. 260. Oh, I see. Doesn't matter.
260.
Oh. But that requires a reminder that in 40 subscribers, we will buy the hottest hot sauce that Save On Foods can provide. Jordan will have a tiny dollop.
I don't do well with heat.
A little bit, and I will drown it. I will absolutely drown it, and I will eat it live on the air for you, for your entertainment. I will do that.
We will cover the plate, and he will lick it clean.
We haven't decided what we're gonna put the hot sauce on quite yet, but
we're gonna put it on his plate with whatever we're eating. He's just gonna lick it clean.
Yeah, and Jordan's gonna put a tiny little bit on, barely the size of half a pea.
Yeah, Jordan doesn't do well with heat.
But that's spicy. All leading up to it. 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna do a hot ones. We're probably going to pre-record it, though, I think. And it's going to go on the channel separately. But we will do a hot ones. A full bore.
The hot ones needs to go on to the Patreon, and people need to subscribe to that.
Unfortunately, that's not doing well enough for that to be an incentive that would motivate people.
It might. Give it a chance.
I'd like to do channel membership one day. That'd be kind of fun. And have member-exclusive videos. I much prefer to do that. I don't know how to sign. I don't know if as a Canadian I can sign up for that. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. In the meantime, everybody, Jordan, where can the people find you? He's doing the can everybody. Jordan, as you can tell people where they can find you.
I do Monday Minecraft Mondays, Zethcore187 on Twitch. It's
my arms are getting sore. Minecraft Monday every Monday, and then on the weekends he's here with me.
That is the case.
I am on TikTok. I'm Justin Spurr. I have now over 100,000 likes on TikTok, and it's really sweet. That's pretty sweet. We, as a show, are on TikTok. We're ever growing on there. I think we're at 69 subscribers. 67 followers.
69, dude.
We are doing okay on there. But if you like bite-sized clips of the show on TikTok, that is there. You can email the show if you just want to chat. If you want to sponsor the show, if you want to be on the show, that's a good place to get me. It's justinsbusiness@gmail.com. As Jordan mentioned, there is a Patreon, I think. It might have gotten shut down due to inactivity.
There's a Discord.
It might exist. We have Discord. Leave a comment on the video. The screen's probably gonna pop up probably now. Hit the box on the left. I'll take you to the last episode, which was dinosaurs. Or you can click the box on the right. It's gonna take you to a random video that YouTube thinks you're gonna enjoy. And you can hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, why aren't you? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And what happens, Jordan, if they subscribe? Just do it. What do they get if they subscribe, Jordan?
Well, if enough of them hit subscribe, there may be some hot sauce involved.
But what do they get for free?
I mean, glorious content from us every day of the week.
How many days a week is there content on this channel?
As I just said, every day
Every
of the week.
single day, there is a new video, there's a new short, there is new content leading up to the podcast on Sunday. Every Sunday, we are here
So,
doing the podcast.
so I guess what I'm trying to say, if you want to be cool,
Hit subscribe.
hit subscribe.
Leave a
If you want to be
like.
lame, also hit subscribe and then go away.
You don't have to.
But just
You don't have to watch any of the videos. Just hitting
you
subscribe.
just
Leave us
hit
a like.
subscribe.
You don't have to watch. No, honestly, leave us a like and then watch like 30 seconds. And even you don't have to watch it. Just put it on mute and just let it play for like a solid 30 seconds to a minute. That's good. That gives me a view. That's good enough. That's cool.
But most importantly, hit subscribe.
But hit subscribe. Leave us a like. We will see you all next week with zombies. Zombie. Zombie. Zombie.